One of these days, I'm going to get this loaded into a proper audio file so that I can play a better version of it. For some reason, I'm having some issues in my software. I'm using the Prism software. I want to make the change to OBS, I think, because OBS just has, it seems, better options. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I'm just talking about the live streaming software. I don't just connect my camera straight to YouTube. If I did that, I would not be able to do everything you're seeing on the screen right now. I basically build all of these things in the software program, and then it connects to YouTube, and then it streams everything on my screen through the software into YouTube. And one of the things that you can do is obviously connect to audio files, media files, video files, whatever. And just for example, my background on the screen, I don't mean my background back here in my room. I mean my background on the screen here is actually a GIF file that I created from a video file that I built from some images that I built. So it took several steps to get it made, and it just loops in the background as my background right over here where it says Go, and on the other side where it says Stros. It just loops on the GIF. It's a long GIF, and it just loops. So you can just bring in media and build your screen however you want it. And I feel that OBS has a lot more options and stuff. But with Prism, it does everything that I need it to do right now, and so that's fine. And I've done so much work to get to where I'm at right now. And with the season being so busy, it's doubtful that I'll even mess with OBS until the season's over. So I'm probably going to be using Prism all the way into the end of the year. But what I'm trying to do is get the audio set up to where whenever I show a video or play a song or something like that, I can play it directly through the software so that I don't have to use my mic for that. And for some reason, just haven't been able to do that. I did notice that there's an update available, so I'll have to do that as soon as I have a day off. The Astros have a day off, rather. That'll give me an opportunity to update the software. Maybe after that it'll be fixed. Don't know. We'll see. So just wanted to share that. Let's see what we've got here. Yeah, I remember the double headers, Richard. So everybody in the chat right now, the Lion, good to see you. Johnny, welcome to Timeout. Crispy, nice to see you. And Casey, welcome in. As well as Sweet Richard. All you guys, good to see you here. Anyone else who's listening right now, wherever you are, I appreciate you being here. If you are on the road or you're out driving or you're working or whatever you're doing, thank you for being here. I appreciate if you have a moment to like the live stream. If you have not subscribed and you're an Astros fan, please do so. And if you know anybody that might be out on the road or busy or working, but they would like to keep track of the Astros games in the background, please let them know about my channel, because even if they can't listen in, the good thing is that I always have the score on my screen, as you see above. I always have the scoreboard on my screen, so they can check in at any time or keep it playing silently in the background on mute, and just keep track of the score as it progresses. And it would be nice to have the extra subscribers, especially if they are Astros fans. I definitely have some subscribers who are not Astros fans per se. I have some friends now. Slowly but surely, I'm growing some friends in the live streaming play-by-play baseball and sports community. And some of them have subscribed to me as I've subscribed to them. And so there are some people here and some other teams' fans that have subscribed. And just because whenever their team plays ours, and they play often, they like to hear my live stream. They don't have somebody in their market that they can depend on to do the live stream. So I'm welcoming of everyone, regardless of whether they're Astros fans, but I especially love my Astros fans, my fellow ladies and gentlemen who are Stros fans. Now, quick look at the lineup before we do anything else. We are at Dyking Park for Game 2 against the Nationals. Jason Alexander is on the mound today. He is finishing up some warm-up tosses right now. In the field, we have Taylor Trammell in left field, Altuve at the DH spot in batting second, Christian Walker at first base batting third. Batting fourth is Cam Smith. He's in the field, and he's going to be in right field today. They moved Trammell back over to center. Jacob Melton is batting fifth, and I'm sorry, Cam Smith is in right, and Trammell is in left. Melton is in center field. My bad. Yiner Diaz is catching today, batting sixth, followed by Mauricio Dubon at third base, Shea Whitcomb at second base. Interesting. And Zach Short at shortstop, finishing off batting ninth. Not too many changes in the lineup today, just a few changes, a couple of mixes, probably about the 1,000th different batting lineup that Joe Espada has gone with this season. I think he is basically leading the MLB in number of lineups. Number of different lineups. Alrighty, Diaz gets squatted down behind the plate. We're about ready to go. Alexander looking for the first call here. He's got what he wants. Here comes the pitch. 92 right in the bottom of the zone. Strike one against C.J. Abrams. It's not J.J. Abrams. I wonder what would happen if C.J. Abrams directed a movie. Here's the pitch. 93, just a tad outside. Barely misses. 1-1 strike. Two fastballs from Alexander in the low 90s. Here comes the next toss. 93 above the zone. 2-1. In the live chat, anything in particular going on that I've missed? Let me take a look. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Below the zone, substantially low Swiffer. 3 balls and 1 strike. Here comes the 3-1. That's in there and grounded through the hole on the right side. That's a single. Cam Smith brings it in, and that is a ground ball single to start the game. A runner on first. James Wood comes to the plate. Not the James Wood you're thinking. Right through the hole there. Whitcomb just couldn't get there. First pitch to James Wood on the way in just a moment. Here it comes. That's a strike. 92 in the upper outer corner. Good call by the ump. Yeah, Casey, thank you. I'm glad you got the notification. I appreciate you turning those notifications on. If you guys want to get notified of my live streams, please make sure you turn the notifications on. YouTube does not automatically send those out. There's a steal attempt. Is he out? They say he's safe. Zach Short covering the bag. Diaz put a low throw out there. It was in the dirt. They're going to take a look to see if they want to challenge it. Oh, man. If that throw had been there, there are two problems there. The throw didn't go quite far enough, and Zach Short didn't get the tag on fast. So double problem. I think Pena could have made that tag. Pena makes that tag, my opinion. In my honest opinion. 1 ball and 2 strikes with that pitch to James Wood. Strikeout coming. Here's the pitch. A little low and outside on the changeup. The count is even 2-2. Yeah, Crispy, you said the trade rumors are crazy. Yeah, there's a lot of talk going around, but I would say about 60 to 65% of it I'm not even interested in. I think it's garbage. A lot of the things that people are saying, and analysts, hey, they got him picked off at second base. There we go. We got him in the rundown. Yeah, baby, he's out. Jason Alexander picks off C.J. Abrams. Good job. Good pickoff move there. Nice quick throw from Dubon back to Whitcomb at second base, and he's able to pop the tag on him. Runner is gone. Base runner is gone. That pitch is a little low inside. Full count to James Wood. One away. Nobody on. Nice. Here's the pitch. Right in there. Strike three. Right in the bottom of the zone. He kind of held up, hoping that the umpire would say ball four, but he rung him up. Nice, beautiful Swiffer right in the bottom of the zone. Man, beautiful. Beautiful. 2 outs just like that. Alexander comes back from that leadoff hit and still, here's the pitch. Fouled off. 94 miles an hour in the top of the zone to Luis Garcia Jr. Yeah, Richard, I was going to say something about those double headers they used to have, and whatever happened to the 2-game series, too? Sometimes they played 2 games, right? I don't mean in the same day. I know the double headers, but do you remember when they used to play like just 2 games? They play a game today and a game tomorrow, and then they move on to the next. Some series would be 3 games, some would be 2. Change up, swing and a miss, nice. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Garcia. Man, that was in the dirt, and he chased it. Gone golfing. Here comes the next toss. That's hit up the middle, another hit. That's going to be down easily. Melton brings it in quickly. Garcia stops at first base. That's 2 singles this inning, a grounder through the hole, and a line drive up the middle. Well, you said at least Espada is trying to change things. He's not trying to change things up. He's changing things up almost every single game. He doesn't have too much of a choice, but he definitely doesn't have to try because he's doing it. Josh Bell at the plate takes the first pitch off for ball 1. Here comes a 1-0 pitch in the dirt. 2-0 to Josh Bell. I believe Josh Bell is the slow turtle that scored yesterday that Fromber complained about because of the placement of Trammell too far into center field. He was supposed to be playing right field. Did you guys hear about that? Pickoff moved to first. He's back. Look at Alexander trying to eliminate the base runners himself. That's hilarious. Good on you, man. Yeah, DeLion, I haven't seen that all year either. Pickoffs are rare. Outside, 3-0 is the count. 3 straight balls. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Richard. Pretty much just rain out makeups. Here's a pitch. Right on the outside edge, strike 1. Bell thought he might have a walk, but that was a good call by the ump. Right on the edge of the plate. The stinker. 92 mile per hour. 3-1 is the count. Juan, I appreciate you listening from Corpus Christi. Fouled off, 91 inside and low. Full count. 2 outs, runner on first. With a full count to Josh Bell. Bell, the 4th batter in the lineup. One strike away from getting out of this inning. Here comes the toss. Fouled off. Went after the Swiffer low and away. If you guys haven't liked the video already, I'd appreciate you doing that. Like that live stream. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. There we go. Alexander with the changeup low. Tommy likey. Tommy want swingy. When you get swingy, Tommy. There you go. Heck yes. Not a bad way to start the first inning. He gave up a couple of hits, eliminated one with a pickoff move to second. Picked up a little bit of a strikeout. Two strikeouts for Alexander in the first inning. He gave up 2 hits, got 2 strikeouts, 1 runner stranded, and 1 picked off. All right. Not so bad. Not so bad. The Astros again have a chance to score first. Can they do it? Not only score, but score with authority. I want to see the Astros score some runs that are really, really earned. Yesterday we scraped 1 run in, and how did we get it? Diaz walked. And then we got a Trammell double. Diaz scored on that. If I'm not mistaken, Diaz got second base on a wild pitch, if my memory serves me correctly. But I want to see the Astros score multiple runs today and show some presence at the plate. Show some real presence. You know, I want to see some good taking of the pitches. Make the pitcher throw it in the zone. And when he throws it in the zone, you go all Frank Castle on his butt. You punish him. Punish him. Become the Punisher. It gives me an idea. I'm going to make a caricature of that. The Tram is at the plate, swing and a miss. That's all. He's already down 0-2. I was looking up something. I was trying to make something, typing in something online. Here comes the next pitch. Woo! That looked like strike 3 on the inside corner, but called ball 1. 1-2. Trammell gets lucky. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Tram. Neither can I, Juan. Low, ball 2. That was a good take. Be careful there, Tram. Michael Soroka on the mound. Here's the pitch. Fouled off at the plate. The count remains 2-2. Soroka sounds a little like the Japanese word soka. 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 I see. Here comes the 2-2. 93 on the outside. Fouled off again. Travis, I understand. Had a few of those. I've had a few subscribers kind of fall away for a little while. Trammell hits this one high into center field, but it doesn't even get out of the infield. Abrams makes the catch right behind second base for out number 1. Jose Altuve. Jose, I've got your jersey on today, bro. It's all about you. It's all about you, Jose. My gosh, that's actually an old church song. It's an old church song they used to sing at a church I went to decades ago. Here's the first pitch to Altuve. He swings at it. The 4-seam fastball right in the top of the zone fouls it off. 1 away here in the bottom of the first. 0-1 is the count to Altuve. Here's the pitch. He fouls that one off. 92 right in the zone. He's getting underneath it, but just a little too much. Completely different than yesterday. Everybody was grounding the ball, right? So maybe with Soroka, we can hit some homers today into the Crawford boxes. 0-2 pitch on the way. A little outside. Good take. Good call by the ump. 1 ball, 2 strikes. One ball, two strikes. Here comes the toss. Way outside. The slurve. That sounds like a type of drink you would get at a convenience store, right? Can you give me a grape slurve? Wait. Can you do grape and vanilla slurve? Grounded foul down the third base line by Altuve. The count remains 2-2. Altuve has been a little quiet recently. His batting average is 277. He hasn't been, I mean, he had a pretty good July. But the last several games, he's just been mediocre. Ooh, ripped to the right side, but foul. That was a nice opposite field hit. Altuve getting closer and closer to straightening out a nice hit. But basically all he's done is kind of preserved his batting average, excuse me. He hasn't gone up or down. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Way outside again on the slurve. Man, those slurves look like either a wicked slider or a sweeper. I keep wanting to call it a sweeper, but it's a slurve. Here comes the full count pitch. He hits that one out to right field, all the way out to the track, almost to the track. Put away by the right fielder. So he did finally straighten one out and get underneath it, but he didn't get it on the correct part of the bat. A little dead on that hit. And about 5 or 6 feet shy of the warning track. So out number 2. And that brings up Christian Walker. Walker actually batting third today. Keep moving him up, moving him up. Here's the pitch. First pitch is a little high and inside for ball 1. 40 people listening in right now. Thank you for being here. Only 19 likes. Please help me correct that if you don't mind. 78 miles an hour, way off the plate. You know, if the Astros can just foul off the strikes in the zone or the balls around the zone, they can get some walks from this guy. He is throwing some way out of the zone. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Little low and outside, fouled off by Walker. That was about as far away as you can get for a strike. Two balls, one strike. 2 outs, nobody on. Here's the pitch. 91 up and in. Foul ball. Walker fouling off some pitches that could have been called either way. Right on the edge. Lower outside corner, upper inside corner. Welcome in, Jordan. This is fouled off. Good to have you here. Next pitch on the way. The 2-2. Ripped down the right. Oh, he broke his bat. I was about to say the right field line. That's incorrect. Down the third base line is what I meant to say. New stick. New piece of wood. Two outs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Base is empty, and Walker about to give the Astros the lead. Can we snap? Can we make a snap? Make a snap. Ow! Did he hit him? Yep. As soon as he gets a new bat and comes back to the plate, he gets hit right on the forearm. Close to the wrist. Ow, right on the wrist, guys. And they're checking on him. He seems to be all right. He's walking towards first base. So we have a base runner because of hit by pitch. Michael Soroka hits Christian Walker on his wrist. Right on his wrist. But he seems to be okay. He's on first base, and Cam Smith, the cleanup batter, is at the plate. Here comes the first toss from Soroka. Cam goes after that first one, 91 miles an hour, fouls it back. 0-1. Yeah, if we're winning when you're working, then get to work, Jordan. 78 mile per hour slurve right in the zone for strike 2. 0-2, Cam Smith. Batting .258. He has fallen so much. He's gone from outstanding to average. He's only had about 5 hits in 30 at-bats. Here comes the 0-2. High, ball 1. Yeah, nice 2-run shot to the Crawford boxes. Sure, it would be nice. It would build his confidence, maybe get him back on track, give the Astros a little energy, crank up this crowd. 92 fouls it back. The count remains 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Walker on first base. We need our crank it up Cam back. Come on, camshaft. Here's the pitch. Whoa! He almost took off Cam Smith's head. Look at this. Whoa. Two balls and 2 strikes. I'll tell you what, if Soroka hits another batter after this, they need to throw him out of the game. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Opposite field, all the way out to the wall. It's going to get down right in the corner. Walker is booking it around. They're going to wave him home. Here comes the throw to home plate. He's in there. He's safe. Double for Cam Smith. Opposite field, all the way to the freaking wall. Good hustle by Christian Walker, just beating that throw from first base. How about that? After nearly getting his head taken off, Cam Smith comes right back with an opposite field hit. All the way to the wall. Big jump by Christian Walker. Nice slide on the outside, perfectly placed. 1-0. And we have a runner on second with 2 outs. Jacob Melton at the plate. Here's the pitch. He grounds this right back to the pitcher on the very first toss. Well, why waste time when you can just ground it straight to the pitcher for the 3rd out? But Astros are up. How about that? 1-0 in the first inning, guys. Can you believe it? In the very first inning, the Astros have a run on the board, and we are in the lead. That's 2 miracles at the same time. Score in the first inning? Check. Take the lead first? Check. Oh my gosh. Go Stros indeed. Go Stros indeed. Man, man. I've got a really cool image coming up I'm going to show you guys in a minute. But how about that? The Astros start off looking pretty weak with Trammell and Altuve getting out. Walker came up, broke his bat on a foul ball, switched bats, and proceeded to get hit immediately on the wrist. He went to first base. Cam Smith started off a little shaky with 2 strikes, came back with the 1-2 count. Then Soroka almost took his head off, went straight at his head on a pitch. And then the very next pitch, Cam Smith went opposite field all the way to the right field wall, and Christian Walker booked it around from first base and scored. The Astros are up with 1 hit and 1 run on the board. It's 1-0 going into the top of the second. Jason Alexander back on the mound for the Stros in just a moment. He's going to be facing Nathaniel Lowe. Absolutely, Crispy, you're right. We needed that. Everybody needed that. 91 miles an hour right in there for strike 1. Lowe only bats .228 in Daikin Park. Here comes the next pitch. A little high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yes, vamos, Astros. Here comes the next pitch. Way outside on that one. The cutter missing 2 balls and 1 strike. Yeah, Crispy, you're right. That's a good observation. Good observation. A little inside, 3 balls and 1 strike. Crispy said every batter saw at least 5 pitches except Melton. He swung on the first pitch. Hope the Astros can learn from that. That's a good observation. Maybe they'll pay attention. Up the middle, but right to Zach Short, who's right there. Tosses it over to first, out number 1. Nathaniel Lowe goes down, and the Brady house comes up. It's the Brady house. Not just one Brady, it's the entire Brady house coming to the plate. Here comes the next toss. Check swing on the inside. Barely gets the bat for strike 1. Yeah, Juan, there are a lot of relievers who throw 100 miles an hour, but there's a reason they're relievers. Here's the next pitch. This is grounded to the left side. It's going to be a tough play. Barehanded. Dubon tried his best, but House was clearly on the base way before the ball got there, so he could have just held on to it. He gave it his best, though. He gave it the old college try. But House was able to easily beat that throw. So it's going to be an infield hit. That's the 3rd hit of the game for the Nationals. Dalen Lyle comes to the plate with 1 out, 1 runner on. Here comes the toss. 92 in the bottom of the zone, fouled off for strike 1. Yeah, I think that, Juan, a lot of those relievers, though, that throw 100 miles an hour plus, they have some control issues. And after so many pitches, it starts to become easier to hit them. So they have to change those guys out pretty often, typically. In the dirt, 1-1 is the count to Lyle. Jordan, that's a good question. Walker started off poorly after the All-Star break, I think, and then he started to come back, and he's been so-so. I don't think he's... My guess is that he has not hit quite as high as 375 overall since the All-Star break, but don't quote me on that. I just don't... I think maybe less than that. That foul ball there puts Dalen Lyle down 1-2 in the count. Runner on first. Alexander is set. Here comes the toss. Swing and a miss. He picks up another K. Tommy wants swingy. Tommy likey. Well, Tommy, guess what? You get swingy. There we go. Another K for Jason Alexander. 2 away. Another K, and it's 2 away. Runner on first. Next batter is Riley Adams. Adams goes after the first pitch, just like Melton, but oh, it goes foul. Walker couldn't get to it before it went foul. Strike one. Adams trying to take a page from the Jacob Melton playbook there, right? First pitch, tap to the infield. Yes, that's right, Lloyd Christmas. So you're telling me there's a chance. I love that line. That's hilarious. She tells him 1 in a million. He goes, 1 in a million. So you're saying there's a chance. Here comes the pitch. Another grounder, broken bat. It's going to be a tough play by Short, but he gets it there. Yes, in time. Brilliant play by Zach Short. A broken bat tapper to Short at short. He scoops it up and fires it to first like a rifle. Alexander giving some appreciation there, having a little chat with the umpire. How about that? So 1 hit in that inning for the Nationals and 1 runner stranded again. 3 hits total given up, but nothing problematic so far. If we can keep seeing this version of Alexander, I'm all good with it. He's up to 33 pitches, so he's averaging 16.5 per inning. Just a little high, but if he stays at this level and what he's doing now and gets us at least through 5 innings, I think he could. If he stays like this, he could get through 6. How awesome would that be? Would you guys like to see 6 innings of shutout ball from Jason Alexander? I know I freaking would. Amen and amen. Oh yeah, Jordan, I actually said that. Let's see here. No, I'm sorry. This is what I said. In one of my past live streams, I think it was around the beginning of the second half of the season. At that point, at the beginning of the second half of the season, I actually used the calculation tool to determine what he would need to do to pull his batting average up to where it's supposed to be, like his normal batting average for his career or for the season, his normal batting average. And in order to get his batting average over 250 or to 255, somewhere in there, he would actually have to bat 275 for all of the second half. So if he batted 275 for the entire second half of the season, then his batting average would be above 250 for the whole season. 375 is not needed. That's way too high. If he batted 375, his batting average would wind up at 300 probably. Yiner Diaz at the plate. Low and outside, but in the zone. Strike one. 91 mile per hour stinker. 13 home runs for Yiner this year, batting .244 right now. You can get better than this. Let's do it. Good job. The slurve did not fool him. He was able to hold up. That's the kind of improvement I like to see for Yiner. 1-1 is the count. Here comes the pitch. In the dirt. Another one he takes for ball 2, 2-1. Travis, we're just talking about the reference to the movie Dumb and Dumber, where he asks her what the chances are that they can be together. Foul tip at the plate. 2-2 is the count. She says 1 in a million. And he looks at her for a moment, and then he smiles and he says, "So you're saying there's a chance?" Talk about positive thinking. Here's the pitch. Yiner hits one into right field, right center. There we go. There's my opposite field machine. Yiner with the liner to opposite field. Yiner Diaz is my opposite field manufacturing facility. That's where he puts a lot of his hits and his homers. So we've got ourselves a leadoff hit on a 2-2 count. 93 on the inside to Mauricio Dubon. Doobie taking that first pitch for strike one. Diaz on first base. The Astros with 2 hits and 1 run. No outs. Here comes the toss to Doobie. Outside, good take. 1-1. Hey Chris, welcome in. I'm sorry you're bored out of your skull. I spent 2 months in the hospital in Hiroshima a couple years ago, and then another week in the hospital in Onomichi, Hiroshima. I know what it's like. I'm sorry to hear that. How are you? How are you doing? This is hit to the left side. Dubon with a single. Dubon wants you to feel better. He wants you to get well soon, so he gave you that single just for you. 2 singles back to back for the Astros, and we are cooking with some kind of gas. Astros now with 3 hits. No outs, runners on first and second. Wow, first pitch to Zach Short. He almost gets hit. I'm sorry, Shea Whitcomb. Zach Short is on deck. Whitcomb is at the plate. I didn't see that until just now. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. In the zone, fouled back. Man, that was a good one to hit. Couldn't get a hold of it. 1-1 is the count. Soroka, man, he is really gunning for hitting these right-handed batters. He's about at 40 pitches with this next delivery. It will be 40 exactly, actually. 92 up and in, swing and a miss. Okay, not? Does that mean not okay? I'm sending you my best wishes. I really am. I know what it feels like to go through a lot of medical stuff and spend time in the hospital. Get better soon. 92 up and in. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Whitcomb. Astros talking about getting Cease. Oh man, Dylan Cease? Are you serious? Right in the bottom of the zone, he rung him up, strike 3. Nice slow ring up by the umpire. He enjoyed that one. I feel like the umpire stood up, leaned back, took in a deep breath, and then gave the strike 3 call. He relished that moment. 1 out on the strikeout looking by Shea Whitcomb, and that brings up Zach Short, who has 1 hit, and it's a home run in this recent homestand. Takes that one low and outside for ball 1. Oh, okay. I am sorry about that. That's what happens, Travis. Whenever I'm doing the live stream and I'm trying to read the comments, I miss stuff, and so I make errors in comments on the live chat. I apologize for that. I see what you're saying. Wow, he rips that one right down the line, but foul. That was a nice rip. Strike 2. 1-2, the count to Zach Short. It would have been nice to see Shea Whitcomb lay a bunt down, John. I would have liked that. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. Whoa, over his head. Man. 46 pitches now for Soroka. Half of those have either hit or gone over the head of the Astros batters. 2-2 is the count to Short. Here comes the pitch. Oh man, that could have been ball 3, but he fouls it off. Count stays 2-2. Internet is hard. Yes, interneting is hard. Up and in. Not too far from his face. Ball 3. Soroka continuing to threaten the right-handed hitters. Runners on first and second with one out. Full count. Here comes the toss. Oh, come on. 93 in the top of the zone. He foul tips it. And the catcher catches it for strike 3. So Shea Wickham goes down looking. Short goes down swinging. So we had 2 runners on with no outs, and now we're down to our final out. It's all on the shoulders of our leadoff batter, the Tram, Taylor Trammell. First pitch on the way in the dirt, ball 1. Come on, Tram. A show today called our owner a penny pincher. What show is that, Juan? I don't think that our owner is a penny pincher. I just think that I don't think he's a penny pincher, but I also don't think he's a big spender either. He's somewhere in the middle. Ground ball to the second baseman. That's going to be out number 3, and it is. So the Astros get 2 hits. It leads to nothing. Strikeout, strikeout, ground out. How about that? Now that right there is what you would say is a disappointing inning. What a disappointing inning. Right in the bottom of the second. Single, followed by single, followed by strikeout, strikeout, ground out. Really? Jose Altuve on deck. If Taylor Trammell could have at least gotten on base, would have had bases loaded with Altuve. I would have much preferred to see that. Goodness gracious, guys. You know what? If Pena were in the lineup, that would have been Pena at the plate just now. Can't wait for our guys to get back, right? Can't wait. Yes, Crispy. The Astros. Crispy. This reminds me. The Astros get a run in the first inning, and then they start playing like a soccer team, right? They get 1 run. They get 1 goal. And they go into defense mode, right? They're like, we got this game. So they spend the next 90 minutes just playing defense. Just holding the ball, playing defense. But what happens is, you know what happens, right? I've seen the Italian soccer team do this many times. They're leading like 1-0 or 2-1. And then they go into defensive mode and they play like the whole rest of the game in defensive mode. They're just passing the ball around. They're not being aggressive. They're not trying to score. They're just trying to hold the ball. But then they make a mistake. The other team gets the ball. They score. They tie it up. But then for some stupid reason, the Italian team keeps playing defense. They're still not being aggressive. And then the other team winds up beating them at the end. I've seen that so many times. It's so frustrating. The Japan national team historically has been very conservative in the way they play, but the reason for doing that is different. The mentality is different. Because in Japan, a lot of the players that are coming up in baseball, basketball, soccer, whatever, it doesn't matter what the sport is, they're actually told by coaches, leaders, and their parents, don't stand out too much. What is that, you know? First pitch is dead center for strike 1 against Jacob Young. Alexander back on the mound, starting this inning off the right way. Fromber sitting over there, clipping his fingernails in the dugout. It's funny. Here's the next pitch. Outside, 1-1. Some people talked about that, Crispy. Pena coming back to this series to rehab. That's a nice pitch in the upper outer corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Some people have talked about that. I'm not quite sure why. Maybe they just want to put him in a situation where there's a little less impact, you know, a little less risk of damage. I think they could just start him off as DH, right? Maybe. 39 pitches for Alexander. The 40th coming up. It's a 2-2 count against Jacob Young. Here's the toss. Inside, way inside, but he rips it foul. Count remains 2-2. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm in the countryside, here, Jordan. And I've never had grass anywhere that grows this fast. But I think it's because it's a wild area, you know. I've got a mountain behind here. The soil, the water here is amazing. It's unbelievably amazing. And I'm also surrounded by rice fields. This place here is a farming area, so I think that that has a lot to do with it. Japan also has tons of volcanic ash. Strike three. How about that? A foul tip strikeout. Boom, baby. Tommy likey. Tommy wants swingy. Well, you get another one, Tommy. Here's the next pitch to C.J. Abrams, the top of the batting order. 1 ball, no strikes. But basically 100% of Japan is mountains and volcanoes. The soil is very rich, so the grass here generally grows really, really well. Tons of bamboo and flowers and trees and all sorts of stuff. 2-0, but there's a swing and a miss. 93 miles an hour. 2-1. Here's the next toss. Too far inside. 3 balls and 1 strike. 1 out, nobody on here in the top of the third. Here's the next pitch. Low. Ball 4. That's a walk to C.J. Abrams. That's not a guy you should be walking. I think you can get him out. But we have a runner on first base with 1 out. Well, actually, on one of my channels, I have a handle. I have a nickname. But I think you can call me, if you want. Some people in the chat just call me by my screen name on here. They just call me like Geaux. But you can also call me Winterborn if you like. That's the handle I go by on my first YouTube channel. Abram goes to second base again. Does he steal it? He does. Are the Astros going to take a look at it? Second stolen base for C.J. Abrams. He got it last time, and he gets it again this time. They're not going to challenge it. I wonder if Alexander will pick him off again. Here's the next pitch. Grounded foul down the first base line. 1-1 is the count to James Wood. Runner on second with 1 out. Here comes a 1-1 pitch to Wood. A little outside, ball 2. 2-1. Yeah, the positioning of my house is really, really great for summer. It's perfect for summer, and the house is built for summer. But man, during winter, it is the total opposite. It is so difficult. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Grounded to Walker at first base. He'll take care of it. Abrams goes to third. 2 away. Where the sun rises in the morning, it's blocked by the mountains that are behind my house. And where it goes down in the evening, it's blocked by mountains on the other side of my house. So early in the day and late in the evening, I get some beautiful sunrises and sunsets, but it stays cooler longer in the morning and it gets cooler earlier in the evening. Fouled off. Luis Garcia Jr. at the plate, a lefty. Garcia batting .264 for the season. But during the winter, man, it is killer because I have a small window of sunlight. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Took a big hack at that one. Couldn't get a hold of it on that changeup. Alexander fooled him. I get a lot of snow here sometimes. We have some snowstorms. And because of the positioning of the mountains in the sun, the snow doesn't melt very fast. It stays piled up out there and it turns to ice. I got to go out there and chop it up and get rid of it. This is hit to right field all the way out to the wall. Might be gone, and it is. An 0-2 pitch, almost in the dirt. Garcia just throws his bat down there and floats it over the fence. I'm telling you, that was such a lucky hit. 2-1 Nationals. I can't believe that that was a home run. It looked like a little squibber. Look at this. Just throws the bat down there in the bottom of the zone. It was a weak swing. He just happens to hit. Is that bat corked? He golfed it over the fence. How do you golf it over the fence like that? Somebody check that bat. I mean, he barely swung the bat. He just kind of threw it out there. 79 miles an hour in the bottom of the zone. Strike one to Josh Bell. So we're down 2-1 now. I don't know how that ball went over the fence. I really don't. Here's the pitch. Low and outside. 1-1 is the count. I am confused. If you guys saw Universal Soldier with Dolph Lundgren and Jean-Claude Van Damme, you remember that part? He says, I am confused. That's exactly how I feel right now. 2 balls and 1 strike to Josh Bell. I'm sorry, yeah. Yeah, that's right, Josh Bell. That's right. Just double checking my info. Grounded foul down the first base side. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, wouldn't it be nice if we could hit a home run? All I want for Christmas is a few more home runs for our team to hit. Outside, check swing. Did he go? They say he did not. Alexander thought for sure that he had a strikeout there. The Astros dugout very annoyed. Espada expressing his dissatisfaction. Full count. 58 pitches now for Alexander, and he is sweating up a storm. Here comes the full count. Hit high in the air. Is it playable? Nope. Goes back and out of play. So Alexander is going to get to 60 pitches this inning. He's averaging 20 pitches per inning. He is up from 16 and a half. Here's the toss. Too far inside and low. That's a walk. Man, he is really... Yeah, you know that... Nathaniel Lowe at the plate now. We are back. Runner on first with 2 outs. Here's the toss. Right in there, grounded straight to short. It looks like he's going to be able to touch second base himself, and he does, and that's out number 3. Well, 2-1 on a 2-run home run. 4 hits for the Nationals, 3 hits for the Astros. It's 2-1. I'm going to make myself another cup of coffee. I don't know about you good people, wherever you are, on the road, at home, at work, in the hospital, wherever you are. I wish you nothing but health, happiness, joy. You know, happiness really does come from within, so that's not something I can give you, but I can do my best to give you a little piece of joy. So if I can make a joy cake, I'd be more than happy to slice off a piece and hand it to you. Everything else is up to you. But for now, I need to make myself a fresh cup of coffee, because what I have now is just one last bit of cold coffee. We're going to be back in just a moment with the bottom of the third. The Astros down by 1. Let's put a little creamer in this one, shall we? All right. Now, this month, in every win that the Astros have had, Caratini, Altuve, and Walker have all had excellent batting averages. 389 for Altuve, 367 for Caratini, and over 400 for Walker in wins this month. First pitch to Altuve is out of the zone for ball one. I have to pause my coffee making for a second. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Grounded foul at the plate, and Altuve loses his cap. His helmet comes off. 1-1 is the count. Soroka on the mound with 53 pitches delivered. Here's the next one. 90, low and inside, fouled off for strike two. 1-2 is the count. 1-2 to Tuve. No outs. Bottom of the third. Here comes the next toss. 91 up and in, brushes Altuve back. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Soroka continuing to put those high fastballs up and in. Stay away from Altuve. Here's the pitch. 78 above the zone, fouled back by Altuve. I can't complain if Altuve goes after some of those high pitches out of the zone, because I've seen him rope some of those over the fence. It's not like he doesn't have the ability to do it. Here's the next pitch. That one's fouled up. Looks like it's playable by the catcher, and he does have it. One away on the foul out behind the plate by Altuve. One down. Christian Walker comes to the plate. Some of the trade names they're talking about for the Astros: Willie Castro, Brandon Lowe, Cedric Mullins, Brendan Donovan. Man, Donovan is batting .285 with a .773 OPS. I wouldn't mind having him. First pitch to Walker appears to be a ball. They've got the trade info on the screen, as you can see. One-0 count to Walker on the way. Low and outside, good take. 2-0. To a pitch. I'm not so sure about that one. That was called a strike. Low and outside. It barely clipped the zone. You can see right there. Barely touched it. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Walker goes after that one on the outside edge. 91 miles an hour. Fouls it off. 2-2. Jordan, whenever I go cutting grass, I got broken tiles and stones everywhere, every single time. This is grounded to third base. He fires over to first. No error this time to save the Astros. No luck there. 2 up and 2 down with the foul out and the ground out. Cam Smith comes to the plate. He had himself a really nice double all the way out to the right field wall, his last at bat. He doesn't have Christian Walker on base this time, but let's see if he can crank it over the fence and tie up this game. Up in the zone, swing and a miss. 91 mile per hour fastball, strike 1. Whoa, yeah, that's definitely enough water. Oh, that might be too much. I hope not. Here comes the next toss. Grounded foul at the plate. 0-2 is the count to Cam with 2 outs. Yeah, the safest game for the Astros right now is to just score 10 runs. Regardless, you got to score 10 runs. Here's the pitch. Too high. Now, whenever our good pitchers pitch, you don't need too many. I mean, heck, we could have won the game with just 3 yesterday. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss in the top, or actually just above the zone. 77 mile per hour slurve. So a foul out, a ground out, and a strikeout. And Soroka is up to about 65 or 66 pitches. He's actually got slightly more. He's slightly higher in pitches than Jason Alexander, but he's got himself a 2-1 lead right now. And we are on commercial break. The bottom of the third is finished, and the third inning as a whole is wrapped up. It's the top of the fourth, and we'll be back in just a moment. Jason Alexander will be on the mound again. Yeah, whenever we're talking about trading for hitters, DeLion, whenever we're talking about that, I just want to know a couple of main things. I want to know batting average, and I want to know their OPS. Those are the first 2 things I want to look at. I don't care too much about how they do versus, left or right-handed pitchers, because the way I look at it is, if their batting average is high, if they're batting like 280, 290 or something like that, and their OPS is good, you know that they're going to be facing a lot of difficult pitching, because they're not going to want to pitch to guys like that with the weaker of the 2. So overall, they're hitting everybody pretty well. They're hitting right-handers and left-handers pretty well. So I don't mind too much. It would be nice to get a guy who's batting lefty who's hitting like that. So I'm definitely open and looking forward to hearing that they get somebody similar to that. A left-hander who's got a really nice average, a nice OPS. That would be nice. First pitch delivered to Brady House. The Brady House is up and in, ball 1. Here comes the next pitch. So we got Seinfeld versus the Bradys right now. One TV show versus the others, and Seinfeld wins out. Ground ball to Doobie. He throws to first base, and the Brady House is shut down. 1 out. Here's the next pitch. Inside to Dalen Lyle, the lefty. Ball 1. Yeah, I see what you're saying about pulling the grass or whatever out, or the weeds, pulling them out by hand like that, but you can't do that here. Fouled off on the outside. 1 ball, 1 strike to Dalen Lyle. The stuff that grows out here, man, it's like they have like vines and roots under the ground, and they have like a network. It's very difficult to pull those things up. Soft line drive over to Shea Whitcomb at second base. He catches it for out number 2. Easy peasy Japanesey. Easy cheesy living greasy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Woo, that's good. Next batter at the plate goes after the very first pitch. He Jacob Meltons it straight to Shea Whitcomb for out number 3. A nice little grounder. Good job, Shay. 6 pitches in that inning. How about that? Jason Alexander, you are the man right now. 6 pitch inning, 3 outs. Holy freaking cow. I love you long time. Man, that puts a lot of pressure back on Soroka. Soroka's got a higher pitch count, and he's coming right back up on the mound. Can you imagine? You get sat down, You take off your glove, you take off your hat, you wipe your sweat, and then they say, hey, you got to go back out. What? Yeah, baby. It's nice to see that happen to the other team and not us for a change. Yeah, you're right, Deline. I agree with you. We're still near the top in batting average. We're not bad in batting average. I mean, I know that we've struggled recently, and rightly so. And that's exactly what you're saying. Even in this slump, even though we've struggled, we're still not doing terribly bad. With a little extra thump, get a guy in here who is a proven hitter. I really don't want a guy who is currently batting 220 and normally bats 250. We've got plenty of those guys. We've got those guys already. You know, I read an article, and I feel like some of these articles are put out there to try to influence the Astros to make poor decisions. And I really believe that 100%, because there was an article that was posted. I want to say that it was an MLB affiliate article, and they talked about a couple of choices that the Astros could consider as good, solid bench players. And I'm like, we don't need a bench player. We need a solid guy to be in there almost every day. But one of the guys that they talked about, his batting average was 218, and his career batting average is usually 248. And they were talking about him being a solid bat. What are they talking about? That's not a solid bat. That's a solid so-so player. High and outside to Jacob Melton. Melton learned his lesson, and he didn't go swinging after the first pitch. Good for you, sir. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Low and inside, ball 2. Melton's strategy is now opposite. Cole Henry is warming up in the bullpen for the Nationals, so it looks like Soroka is getting close to the end of his night, rather. Too far inside, 3-0. Man, this might be his last batter if he walks him. Maybe they'll pull him in early. Pull in that reliever in the 4th inning. Holy cow, here's the pitch. Strike in the bottom of the zone. He barely got that one in there. 3-1. Here's the next pitch. Swing and a miss, 90, right in the top of the zone. Full count. Now your neighbors are Guatemalans and they don't care. Oh, that's cool. Grow some fruit trees. That's nice. Here's the next pitch. 90 miles an hour, swing and a miss. Come on, Melton. Melton takes 3 balls, takes a strike, then swings and misses to strike out. Are you kidding me? 3 balls and then 3 strikes, 1 away. That was disappointing. I think that was more disappointing than his first at bat, where he grounded out on the very first pitch. Yiner Diaz at the plate. He does have a nice single today, opposite field. He rips that one down the third baseline. Diaz is jumping on that ball today. He's like a child in the playpen right now, jumping on that ball. Here's the 0-1 pitch. This is hit hard to right field, right center, all the way out to the wall. It is gone. There's that opposite field I'm talking about. Opposite field, Yiner Diaz. Opposite field hit, then opposite field homer. He ties the game up 2-2. I told you he was hitting that ball today. I told you, boy. Didn't I tell you, boy? 2 for 2 today. A single and a double. A single and a homer. That was more than a double. Good old Diaz. And that is the 4th hit for the Astros off Soroka. They're coming out to the mound. Is that going to be it? Yep. That's going to be it for him. Diaz puts him out of the game in the 4th inning. We got 1 out. And the train is going crazy right now out there in Dyking Park. Choo-choo. Yiner gave him a shiner, and we were tied up 2-2. There's your home run. There's your home run. All I wanted for Christmas in July was a home run, and it is July 30th. They waited and waited and waited to give me one right before the end of July. Yiner bomb. Excuse me, could you give me another shot over here? Give me a bomb. What kind of bomb you want? Yinermeister. Give me a Yinermeister. Give me a shot of Yinermeister. That's funny. Yinermeister. Go Stros. Oh yeah, baby. I got a very funny image here. A very funny image. That is good. I like it. I like it. I'm going to share this with you guys and gals. That is beautiful. I love that image. I got a good image for you. Who we have on the mound right now? I need to change it. Who's on the mound for the Nationals? Cole Henry. You want to hear something interesting? They just said is that all of Yiner Diaz's home runs came this year were when he was catching. He doesn't have any home runs as a DH. That's interesting. First pitch is up and in to Doobie. So it looks like Cole Henry is picking up where Soroka left off. 1-0 is the count with one out, nobody on. Here's the pitch. Right in there, 79 mile per hour curveball. 1-1 is the count. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. He goes after that one, kind of low. Throws the bat out there and fouls it off. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One ball, 2 strikes. Here's the toss. In the dirt. He holds up. 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. Here comes the pitch to Doobie. Outside. Full count. I don't think you can show me pictures here in the chat. Hey, Glenn. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Doobie steps out of the box for a moment. Takes a timeout. I agree with DeLion. That's the minimal I'd take. Devon hits that one foul to the left side. Is it playable? No. Luckily, it goes in the crowd by about 10 rows. Okay, I gotcha. Gotcha, Jordan. Let's see here. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I'm sorry, 3 balls, 2 strikes. We got the full count against Doobie. Here comes a pitch. Fouled off. 96 right in the zone. Good swing by Doobie to save that one. Yeah, Gregory, I think so. We don't have anybody on base right now, but there's only 1 out. So we can get more. Here's the pitch. 96 in the zone again. This one is fouled off down the right field line. You guys, I'm just letting you know, I've got a video coming up later today. It's a very important video. I've got all of the content made, the audio's made, everything is made. Fouled off again, 97. Cole Henry is speeding up faster and faster, trying to get that fastball by Dubon, but Dubon is fighting him off. I wrote the script, recorded the audio, made all the images and everything I need. Now I'm putting it together. Low and outside. What a great at bat by Dubon. I mean, that's what I'm talking about right there. Make the pitcher's pitch. When they put it in the zone, you fight. You foul it off. There's a home run by Yiner. Up and away, he was able to extend. And that's perfect for Diaz. Put it right in the Astros bullpen. Here comes the next pitch. Shea Whitcomb at the plate takes the first pitch, 96 for a strike. Whitcomb is 0 for 1 today with a strikeout looking. Runner on first with no outs. One out, I'm sorry. That's on the inside, 96. Man, that was a good location right there. Can't get more low and inside than that without being a ball. 0-2 is the count. Come on, Whitcomb. We need you to step up, bro. Be an MLB player. Here's the pitch. Fouled it off. There we go. 96 in the zone. I noticed in some of the Astros podcasts, they were talking about how a lot of the people in the comments section were saying, why isn't Whitcomb playing? Bring in Whitcomb. Bring back Whitcomb. Put Whitcomb in there. And he was like, I don't know. He said, they finally put him in there. Are you happy? But he didn't quite understand why they were clamoring so hard for Whitcomb. He hasn't done anything yet that's amazing. That's outside. Taken for ball 1. 1-2 the count. 1 out. Doobie on first base. The Astros have this game tied 2-2 with that solo home run by Diaz. Here comes the next pitch to Whitcomb. Nope. He goes over to first base, but Doobie's back. I don't often say that I want to keep a player because I can see the benefit and the cost. Here's the pitch. Foul tipped. Catcher loses it, thankfully. The count will stay 1-2. But like when Tucker left, I really liked Tucker. But to me, Tucker wasn't such an important piece that you had to spend so much money to keep him. It was better to trade him. 96 miles an hour popped into the infield. That's probably going to be out number 2, and it is, taken by the shortstop. Whitcomb goes down on the fly ball. At least he didn't strike out that time looking. Zach Short comes to the plate, batter number 9. Can Zach Short make something happen to help get us closer to regaining the lead? Will Short come up short or will he go long? We'll see. Here's the pitch. Outside, good take, ball 1. Oh, Fred, we get earthquakes here basically every day. Now I don't feel earthquakes here every day. This is fouled off. Luckily, it's going to go in the stands. The catcher can't get to it, so the count is 1-1 to Zach Short. But I will tell you this, guys, where I'm located from here, just a few miles away, that was the epicenter of an earthquake just a couple weeks ago. I had an earthquake near here in an area that hasn't had an earthquake in decades. But it was a very, very small quake. And actually, because of the location of my house, the mountain basically shielded me from most of that. I could barely feel it. But it sounded like a boom when it happened. It was strange. Sometimes there's an earthquake to the south out in the ocean, and the ripple effects of that come through like a wave. You can hear it coming from the distance and then kind of pass through, and then the house shakes just a little bit. Here's the next pitch. Hit high in the air and fouled off for strike 2. 1-2 is the count to Zach Short. But this earthquake that happened here locally, it was right on the other side of my mountain here. If I drive there, it's maybe 25 minutes to drive around to there. And it sounded like a big boom and then a really big truck engine cranking up and running for a few moments. It was very strange. Sounded like nothing I've ever heard. And then suddenly there was just a quick shake here. Very small. A little high and outside. Good call by the ump. Ball 2. 2-2. Good take by Short. But anyway, my house is very old. And all the windows are loose. The sliding doors and everything are loose. You know, this house was not built with nails. Low and outside. Full count. 3-2. So we have Doobie on first base with 2 outs. And a full count to Zach Short. Taylor Trammell on deck. Here in the bottom of the 4th. Astros already have 1 on the board from that solo homer. Here comes the pitch. 96 in the zone. He fouls it off and stays alive. But anyway, the reason I told you about the way the house is built is because whenever there is an earthquake or even a strong wind, but especially if there's an earthquake, the whole house makes noise and rattles and shakes. It takes some getting used to. But it's built to move. Here's the pitch. Short strikes out with the foul tip swing, 97 miles an hour outside the zone. But Diaz evens the game up with an opposite field homer. 4 hits and 2 runs for the Nationals and the Astros. Alexander will be back on the mound in just a moment. He's at 67 pitches. He'll be facing Jacob Young. But by the way, just so you guys know, you never have to worry about me when it comes to a tsunami. If there's a really big tsunami, trust me, I'm so far above sea level. I don't know how many feet it is. I know how many meters it is. Let's see. Almost 2,000. Actually, it's about 1,800. That's right. I'm 1,800 feet above sea level. So let me put this here. My house, 1,800 feet above sea level. So got nothing to worry about here. Actually, this house, one of the reasons why this house has stood for so long, it was built 200 years ago. So if you ever look up Edo period Japan, this is basically a time, it's a long period, but samurai were really big during that time, and this house is what you call kind of samurai style. It is a farmhouse, but the outside of the house has a porch all the way around it, and then all of it doesn't have walls. Instead of walls, it's just a bunch of posts, Fusuma sliding doors, and shoji sliding doors. The difference between shoji doors and Fusuma doors is that Fusuma doors are thick and you can't see through them. They're meant to create privacy and insulation. They're heavier, thicker, and stronger. Shoji doors are the ones with like the paper, and they let in light, and they're light, very light doors, and they let in the sunlight. 0-1 pitch to Jacob Young, swinging a foul tip. Strike 2. So my house is quite unique, but the reason it's still standing, the primary reason, is because of the way it was constructed and the location. The location is good. Here's the next pitch. High and outside, ball 1, 1-2 is the count to Jacob Young. The mountain and the elevation protects me a lot from earthquakes, and I'm so far away from and up from the sea level that I can't possibly be harmed by tsunami. High and outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Speaking of tsunami, Bennett Sousa is warming up in the bullpen, and Brian King is stretching. Foul ball. The count remains 2-2. Low and outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Three-two pitch to Jacob Young on the way from Alexander. Right in there, strike 3, baby. Ring him up. 91 on the outside edge. Good job. Strikeout number 5. Tommy Likey. Tommy wants swingy. Well, Tommy get swingy. Oh, actually, he didn't get swingy. Tommy Likey. Tommy wants strikey. Tommy didn't get a swingy, but he got a strikey. One away, nobody on. Here's the pitch. Right in there. Nice pitch. The Swiffer to C.J. Abrams. He does have a walk and a run and 2 stolen bases today. Here comes the 0-1 delivery. That's hit hard to right field. That's going to be down in the corner and into the crowd. Looks like a double. Ground rule double. Man, that was, he just roped that one. That was a solid strike off the bat. I wonder how many more batters we're going to see, because they've got Sousa warming up in the pen. Unfortunately, that was a sweeper that kind of went right into the zone and didn't have too much movement on it. James Wood at the plate. Pitch on the outside edge for strike 1. 0-1 is the count against Wood. Here comes the next pitch. Low and inside, ball 1, 1-1. There have been a lot of big earthquakes and earthquake clusters in the past couple of months, Fred. It's been crazy all over the world. South of Kagoshima in Japan, there have been a ton of earthquakes. There's also a volcano down there that's been spewing a little bit recently. It's an active volcano. I actually visited there a few months ago. It's always, almost always seems to be churning out a little something, but it has been a little aggravated recently. So they're not allowing people to go and visit it right now, I think. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. No, he comes off the mound. Abrams is not caught off guard that time. 1-2 pitch to James Wood on the way. Swing and a miss. 79 below the zone. Strikeout number 6. And that time, Tommy want swingy. Tommy Likey. Tommy wants swingy. Tommy get swingy. Looks like that's going to be it for Alexander. After that batter, he's got 2 outs and a runner on second. And they're going to go ahead and pull him out. After 4 2/3 inning, he doesn't quite get through 5, but he comes close. Can't say it's a bad outing for Alexander. He gave up 2 runs, 5 hits, got 6 strikeouts. Almost made it 5 innings. I guess he could have gone 5 innings. He was at 80 pitches. But they're taking him out, and it looks like they're going to bring in Bennett Sousa. I hope Sousa is strong today and that he can finish up this inning and the 6th. If Sousa can finish this batter without giving up anything and then have a 1-2-3 6th, I would imagine that we'll see Brian King in the 7th. Well, Alexander was great compared to most. I mean, especially compare him to what we were getting with McCullers. What's unfortunate is that he didn't go 5 innings, so even if the Astros wind up pulling ahead, he won't get a win. You got to go at least 5 innings. Hey, old dog, welcome back. Haven't seen you in a while. I'm glad for you to be back. Actually, I was gonna. Now that I think about it, old dog, I wanted to tell you that the other day when you said we were talking about the AC and the sweaters and stuff. I wanted to apologize for coming across wrong because I definitely wasn't saying that you were wrong. So please don't think that I was insinuating that you were wrong about anything. I was just making an observation about a funny observation about the environment, but I was definitely not saying you're wrong. So I apologize if you felt like I was dissing you. I definitely was not. Let's see here. Luis Garcia is at the plate. Bennett Sousa is on the mound. First pitch is a ball. 1-0 is the count. Kidney issues. I'm familiar with that. 86 in the bottom of the zone. Strike one. 1-1. Runner on second with 2 outs. But actually gets to third. He steals third base and they don't even make a throw over there. Okay. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Little outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. But I'm glad you're out of the hospital. Seems like we got too many of our subscribers in the hospital right now. This is hit high in the air to center field, left center, who's over. Trammell and Melton. Melton takes it for out number 3. All right, Bennett Sousa gets the soft fly ball to end the inning. No runs given up. We go into the bottom of the 5th, tied up 2-2. 5 hits for the Nats. The Nats. And 4 for the Stros. Run efficiency. Hit to run efficiency is better for the Stros. But we can't make the final decision on that until the Astros have had another chance at the plate. Yeah, Chris, one of our subscribers, if she's still listening, hopefully she's feeling a little better. She had to go to the hospital. I have to go to the hospital every few months to get my medicine updated, and if I have any disasters or mini disasters, then I have to rush to the hospital for treatment. I've had to do that several times over the past few years, and it is all because of my kidney. Not necessarily the kidney itself, but because of what's attached to the kidney. That's my main problem, is that stupid tumor. Yeah, Charlie, I'm with you on that. Why not let him get the last out? I feel like he could. I'm not quite sure why they pulled him. Maybe they were just worried about him facing the next batters, being so close to the end of his night. Hard to say. I would say that Dana Brown is going to do something, Charlie. Whether or not you're okay with it, that's a different matter. But he will definitely be doing something. The Astros management is definitely doing things. Whether or not you or I or someone else thinks it's adequate or enough or too much or whatever, it's a different matter. That's a cool picture of Altuve. The tram comes to the plate. Let's see if we can get it fired up and pull it out of the station full steam ahead, because we got Taylor Trammell, Jose Altuve, and Christian Walker. This is the top of our lineup, guys. This is our butter right now. This is our best. This is our best offering at the moment. Let's not waste it. Holy cow. We have got ourselves an amazing looking pitcher on the mound. First pitch is right in there, 88 miles an hour for strike 1. Andrew Chafin. Is he chafing, though? Give him some ointment. Next pitch to Trammell is low for ball 1. 1-1 is the count. Come on, Tram. A pop out and a ground out today, so he's getting the bat on the ball. Why doesn't he line one into the stands? 88 in the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike. Yeah, Paul, I mean, I felt good, and I was keeping my fingers crossed for McCullers. 89 up and in, swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I was wondering what that sound was. Chafin grunts loudly whenever he throws the ball. Here's the pitch. He puts the big old into it when he throws it. That ball's in the dirt. 3-2 is the count. McCullers has been so all over the place. But there's one thing that has been consistent, whether he wins or not. He throws way too many balls, walks too many guys. But that's historically a problem, so that hasn't changed. That's right in the zone, hit high in the air to the second baseman. It looks easily playable. Yep, Garcia Jr. puts it away for out number 1. Tram goes down. The tram is shut down before it can even get out of the station. Jose Altuve comes to the plate. The biggest little man in baseball for many years. Biggest little man ever in baseball ever. I loved seeing the big Altuve face, a big Jose sign in the background every time. Same people. They always have the season tickets, don't they? Right in the bottom of the zone, kind of low, but called a strike. Altuve questioning that a little bit. The dugout was complaining about that, but Altuve was calming him down. He's like, no, it's okay, don't worry about it. The gentleman at the plate. 0-1 is the count. Here comes a pitch from Chafin. 90 below the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike. I'm sorry that you had to go to the hospital there, old dog. I hope you're feeling better now. Did they get it worked out pretty quick? I guess if you're at home, then they were able to get you straightened out. And that's good news. That's good news. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. Right in the zone, and oh, what a catch there, man. Lucky, lucky catch. A ripped line drive. C.J. Abrams leaps up and steals it from Altuve. What a nice hit by Altuve. Just barely playable. Look at this. He robs Altuve of a single. 2 away. Walker at the plate. That pitch is low for ball 1. Man, Altuve ripped that one. Yeah, you're right, Paul. He does look like that. He looks like he's right out of the Major League movie. He does. He looks like the guy that was pitching whenever he got the bunt, right? That one is ripped into left field. He can't get to that one. Walker has got a single right through the gap. Altuve was robbed, but Walker gets it through. And that is hit number 5 for the Astros. We have a runner on first with 2 outs. Cam Smith at the plate. Cam with a nice double today in the same scenario. 2 outs with Christian Walker on first base. He had an opposite field double. Let's see if he can find a way to duplicate that. Here comes the pitch. Below the zone. Ball 1. Definitely a beer drinker, Crispy says. That's right. A cornhole player. Yeah, in reality, if you build... there's a throw over to first base. Walker's back easily. 1-0 is the count to Cam Smith. This pitcher right here, in the movie Field of Dreams, you make a baseball park and all these players from history come out. But in reality, if you build a baseball park out in the cornfield, this is the type of player that will come out. Oh, man. 2 balls and no strikes. But he does kind of remind me of that pitcher at the end of Major League who throws the ball whenever he bunts. That's funny. Fouled off for strike one, 2-1. Chafin is chafing the ball now. Chafing the new ball. Yeah, Altuve is not doing bad, but he's just kind of going through the motions right now, it seems. That's in the dirt for ball 3, 3-1. Dialysis 3 days a week. Is that something that you have to do permanently? Or is there a way to improve that so you don't have to go through that anymore? Here's the 3-1 pitch. Low, ball 4. And we got 2 runners on. So Walker is now in scoring position. Cam Smith on first is also scoring position as far as I'm concerned. Jacob Melton with another appearance at the plate. This time with an opportunity. Once again, a really good opportunity. No, they take him out. They take Melton out. They put in Cooper Hummel. As soon as they see that Hummel is going to bat right-handed, they pull the cornfield player, Cornholio, and they're going to bring in another pitcher. So we're on break now while they switch pitchers. As soon as Hummel goes to bat right-handed, they're like, no. We want to pull another pitcher in. So they call timeout. It looks like Hummel will switch around and bat lefty with 2 runners on and 2 outs. Goodness gracious. I agree, Jordan. Even AAA, we should be able to score 4 runs. You know, I ran some data and stuff and did some figuring, and it says that with these lineups, we should win 4-2. Yesterday should have won 4-2. Today 4-2. It's just because of the matchup, the pitching and hitting matchup. Even with our lineup, we should be able to muster 4 runs. So yesterday was a disaster. Today, I mean, we're halfway through the game, so we're halfway there. But we should definitely be getting at least 4 runs against this team. Yeah, if Walker's hitting well, the other guys need to be hitting well with him. Goodness. Old Dog says, trying to get a transplant since I've been cancer-free for 5 years. Lots of testing ahead, otherwise it's for life. Ah, I see. I know that getting the transplants takes time. It's not something you just special order. I've been, but by the way, Old Dog, just as a side, do you know your vitamin D levels? Have they actually checked your vitamin D levels? And there are 2 different ones to check. One is your active vitamin D, and the other is just the vitamin D in your bloodstream. Here's the first pitch to Hummel. He hits it up the middle. Here we go, baby. The very first pitch, Hummel goes up the middle. They're waving him home. The throw is cut off, and Walker scores from second base. How about that? The Astros have the lead again, 3-2. The very first pitch, Hummel goes right up the middle. Nice single. Boom, baby. Right past the pitcher. The fastball right down the middle. Right down the middle, right up the middle. Cam Smith moves over to third base. We've got runners on the corners with 2 outs. Finally, something to be excited about. All right. Cooper Hummel. Yiner Diaz, 2 for 2 today with a single and a homer, is at the plate. That pitch is way outside. Ball 1. How about that? Here we go. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the toss. Yiner hits that one way up in the air. It looks like it's going to be a fly out to center field. He's underneath it, and he puts it away for out number 3. Nothing doing there for Yiner, but the Astros do get the lead. It looks like the Astros are going to just slowly put 1 run on the board at a time. As long as they end up with the most runs, it's fine. It's fine. I'm okay with that. As long as they have more runs at the end of the game than the Nationals do. It's 3-2. 6 hits now for the Stros. 5 hits for the Nationals. We're up by 1. Bennett Sousa likely still on the mound for the Stros. He'll be facing Josh Bell in just a moment. Just out of curiosity, old dog, if you don't mind me asking, because recently I've been doing 2 things with the vitamin D3. One is, and the most important thing is, I go lie out in the sun. And this is perfect weather for it right now, but I go lie out in the sun for more than 10 minutes. I did 15 minutes 2 days ago. Yesterday I did 20 minutes, but I stayed out there a little too long. I'm very, very white, and my body hasn't had a lot of sun in a long time. My legs and my body, they don't typically get much sun because I'm always wearing clothes. And my legs, even if I wear shorts, I have to wear compression socks because of edema and anemia, all the blood flow, all the issues that I have because of my kidney tumor. It causes my legs to swell up, so I need to wear compression socks all day long. So my legs stay covered up with compression socks and regular socks and sometimes pants. So what I've been doing to get the maximum D3 in my body is going outside and lying down in the sun. But yesterday I got a little bit too much sun. I'm just a little red, not too bad, just a little too red today. I'm a little sore in certain places. Places on my body that, like on my thighs, they never get sun, and so they're a little sore. But I think today when I lay out, I'm going to lay on my back. I'm going to lay on my stomach so that my back can get the sun instead, because I don't want to miss a day. Getting the sun is the absolute best way to get vitamin D3. But usually the hospitals and the doctors give you insufficient amounts of D3. Bell is at the plate batting righty, and he swings and misses the first pitch from Sousa, 0-1. But you also got to take the vitamin K in order to help activate it, and you need magnesium to help activate the D3 in the body. So I'm taking a vitamin B complex, taking magnesium powder. I've got the D3 supplement I'm taking with the vitamin K included, and getting the sun. I just started this regimen this week. This is why I started eating again and stopped fasting, because I need to increase my vitamin D3. In the dirt, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Josh Bell at the plate here in the top of the 6th. The Astros up 3-2. Nobody on. No outs. Sousa on the mound. And here comes the 1-2 toss. Low and outside, 2-2. Here's the next pitch. Fouled off. Count remains 2-2. You know, guys, that's the thing. If you look at my situation, my health is the primary cause of this, but so many things about my life have forced me into this situation, living out here in the countryside by myself. Here's the pitch. 2-2. Fouled off. Count stays 2-2. But actually, I'm in the best location possible to be able to rest and get sun and be with nature and be in a calm, peaceful atmosphere and recover. If there is to be recovery, this is the place to do it. In the dirt, low and inside, 3-2. Josh Bell with a full count. Nathaniel Lowe on deck. Yeah, Crispy, my mom used to have the chronic migraines. Those are no joke. Here's the pitch. In the zone, hit high to right field, but Cam Smith is going to be able to play it. 1 out. Nathaniel Lowe comes to the plate with 1 away. Yeah, if you don't have the, I think what is it, K2, whatever it is. Actually, old dog, if you look up the supplement online where it has the D3, it almost always includes the vitamin K with it because you need that to activate the D3. You got to have it. The body just needs it to activate and use the D3. The magnesium helps to utilize the extra D3 in your body and in the fat cells. Here's 1-0. 1-0 pitch. Right in the top of the zone for strike 1. 1-1 is the count to Nathaniel Lowe. Brian King now out in the bullpen, about to start warming up. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Lowe fouls that one off for strike 2. 1-2. But you know what? It can't be understated, though, how important it is to get your D3 from the sun. It is so effective. It's crazy. You want to hear something really unbelievable? Go look up the amount of vitamin D that lifeguards have in their body. It's crazy. Woo! Right in the bottom of the zone, strike 3. Sosa gets a strikeout looking 84 right in the bottom of the zone on that slider, and he just froze him. He's like, ugh! 2 away. Yeah, it's interesting how these different vitamins and minerals work together. And actually, vitamin D, I don't know if you knew this or not, it's not a vitamin. It's a hormone. It's not a vitamin. They call it a vitamin, but it's not a vitamin. 94 miles an hour, up and out, swing and a miss. Strike 1. Brady House at the plate, 1 for 2 today with a single. Here's the 1-2 pitch. I'm sorry, the 0-1 pitch to the 1 for 2 hitter. I was looking at his batting performance. Swing and a miss again, 0-2. 2 outs. The crowd gives some lethargic cheers. Yay, strike him out. Here's the pitch. Little high, ball 1, 1-2. So Brady House, who is 1 for 2, now has the 1-2 count. 20th pitch for Sosa coming up right here. Swing and a miss. Another strikeout. Sosa looking super sharp. Looking like an ace. How about that? Bennett Sosa with another swing and a miss. Tommy likey, Tommy wants swingy. Well, Sosa is giving you another swingy, Tommy. You deserve it. Thank you guys and gals for tuning in to my live stream. For those of you who may not have figured it out, I do live play-by-play for the Houston Astros baseball team. I don't do other teams. I have no interest in doing any other teams. Now, I do like LSU college football. And in the beginning, a year ago when I first started my channel, my plan was to do Astros games during the baseball season and then LSU Tiger games, football games during the off season and during the football season. But I just didn't have a good feel for it, and for some reason the rules are different, and I didn't want to mix my fan base so much, because those are two specific niche teams, and I decided it wasn't for me. There are a lot of baseball games during the season, and during the football season, it's only one a week. So I just had this gut feeling that I should just go all in on the Astros channel, the Astros, and that's what I've done. So I appreciate you being here to support the Astros as a team, my channel as an Astros community. My dream for the channel is to grow it out to be pretty big, to be tens of thousands of subscribers strong, And the reason for that is because when I see a lot of these other big market teams, they have multiple channels and multiple streamers with tens of thousands of subscribers each, and I wonder why the Astros don't even have one like that right now. I mean, in English, we don't even have one live streamer apart from myself. We have a Spanish live streamer, but I'm the only one in English, and it still blows my mind that the Astros didn't have that, even after winning a couple of World Series. It's insane to me. Doobie is at the plate, and he fouls off the first pitch. I believe he fouled off the first pitch. Second pitch is in the dirt for ball one. Andre Lara is on the mound. Here's the pitch. Hey, Dubon with another single into left field. He ropes that one into left field. Nice. We have a leadoff base runner. 7th hit of the game for the Stros. How about that? Just went out and got that slider. Good job. Good job, Doobie. Shea Whitcomb comes to the plate. Another opportunity to do something here. He's showing bunt. That's what he should have done last at bat. I think he had 2 guys on the last time he was up, right? Strikeout and a pop out today. 1 ball, no strikes. Is he going to show bunt again? Let's see. Here's the pitch. No, he doesn't. He's swinging. Dubon steals, and the catcher can't get the ball out of his glove. This is not even a throw. Dubon gets second base. All right, Doobie. Doobie's making it happen. A steal after a single. Catcher came up, couldn't get the ball out of his glove. How awesome is that? No outs, runner on second, 1-1 to Whitcomb. Here comes the toss. Way outside. I can't talk trying to do too many things at once. I know what it is. I need some more coffee. 2 balls and 1 strike. I just realized that's my last sip of coffee. Got to pour some more. Here's the 2-1. Ground ball to third. A diving catch. Is he going to have a play? No play. Dubon has to stay at second base. But that's an infield hit for Whitcomb. We got 2 runners on. Unfortunately, Dubon was not able to move over to third. It was a great catch by Abram to keep it on the infield and keep Dubon from advancing. But the Astros now have runners on first and second with no outs. Now we do see another bunt coming up from Zach Short. He pulls back, and that's ball 1. Make sure you take a ton of it, old dog. That's great stuff. Trust me. This is bunted. Perfect bunt. Good bunt by Zach Short. Dubon was already off and running when that bunt was down, and he was easily able to get to third base. There was no play. He took off running. And he was into third base standing up on that bunt. Zach Short is thrown out in first base, but good job, Zach Short, for laying that bunt down. Runners advance to second and third. Nobody was covering second base. Taylor Trammell at the plate. 88 miles an hour off the plate, ball 1. Astros, man, they're cooking. Come on. Feeling some energy now. Feeling some vibes. Here comes the 1-0 pitch to Trammell. Grounds out one foul down the first baseline. 1 ball, 1 strike to the Tram. Let's go, Stros. Maybe I need to do a live stream one day so we can talk about Astros and everything else instead of talk, because there's so many things I'd like to talk about. We'll have to do that. Maybe I'll do that on a day off or something. Here's the next pitch. A little inside. Good take by Tram. Good call by the ump. 2 balls and 1 strike. 96-mile-per-hour fastball missing. Exciting game. Here's a pitch. This is hit hard. Wow. Crushed to right field into the upper deck, but foul. The upper deck. Trammell just put that one almost over the foul pole. It was so far gone. Look at that. That ball was destroyed. Wow. 2 balls and 2 strikes. He takes a timeout right here. He just got around on it too early. Thank you, old dog. I'm really glad to see you back. I didn't know where you were, but I'm glad to see you back and wish you nothing but the best. It seems like, and it's true, I guess, too many people have to deal with too much pain. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That one goes all the way to the top floor. Ball 3. Jose Altuve on deck. We got 1 out with runners on second and third. Full count to the Tram. Destroy that ball. Here's the pitch. Fouls it off. 96 up and away. Stays alive. Hey, Caesar. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Always good to see you. Hey, Brendan, there is one subscriber I have who's 13 years old. He hasn't been here today, I think. But he's got you beat by almost half. Here's the pitch to Tram. Way outside, ball 4. Loaded bases. Excellent at bat by Tram. He just misses a massive home run. But now bases are loaded with 1 out for Jose Altuve. Altuve has been ripping the ball. And Hickey is going to come out to the mound. It looks like they're not going to pitch. They're not going to let him pitch to Altuve. Man, they're going to change pitchers again? Or are they just going to chat with him? No, they're just chatting. Hey, listen, this is Altuve. He's owed a grand slam, you know, at this point in his career. I don't care what you say. He's owed a grand slam. All I want is Altuve's autograph. You'll probably get it knowing Altuve. If Altuve finds out about that sign, he'll stay at the park for an extra 2 hours just to sign that kid's autograph. Yeah, it's so many signs. It's my birthday wish to meet Altuve. It's my birthday wish to get Altuve's signature. Everybody wants Altuve. He's got 7 grand slams in his career. 7 grand slams. Let's get to 10, Altuve. Here's the next pitch. Base hit right up the middle, right off the bat. Altuve scores a run, at least 1. Runners stop at third. Bases still loaded. Altuve does it on the very first pitch. Line drive right up the freaking middle. Doobie scores. 4-2 Astros. Love me some Altuve. Let's take a look at that pitch. Right in the zone. Look at that. He went right after it. Stuck out the tongue. Thank you. I haven't seen the tongue come out in such a long time. Our classic Altuve is back. Christian Walker with the very first pitch ripped to left field. That's going to score 2 runs. Here comes the throw. It's too late. It's cut off. That's a 2-run single by Christian Walker to left field. 2 more runs on the board. The Astros up 6-2. 2 pitches to Altuve and Walker. 2 hits. 3 runs scored. Whitcomb, Trammell, and Doobie score. Top of the batting order, getting it done right now. Cam Smith goes after the first pitch and hits it. Hey, look, it's a wild throw to first base. Cam Smith is going to go to second. Another run will score. Altuve comes home. You can't make this stuff up. Altuve scores. Cam Smith hits the ball on the infield to the pitcher. Pitcher throws it to first. They're gonna. Oh, the umpires are complaining about something. What is going on? They're calling Cam Smith out because they say he ran out of the baseline, and right now Joe Espada is out there arguing with that. What in the world are they even talking about? They're sending Altuve back to third base. So Cam Smith was running on the grass, and they say that he was running on the baseline, and they're going to call him out, and they're going to send Altuve back to third base. They're calling interference on Cam Smith for running out of the baseline. Are you kidding me? So that's going to be 2 outs. Runners stay on first and second. Cooper Hummel at the plate. He goes after the first pitch and fouls it off. Everybody's swinging on that first pitch. 6-2. Should turn back to 5-2, I believe. Runners on first and second with 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Hummel. He swings at that next pitch, fouls it off. 96 right in the zone. They're going to show it again right here. Take a look at this. He was a little far to the left. I'm not sure exactly how far to the left you can be before that becomes a real problem, but he was running through the grass all the way down the line. High and outside, ball 1-2 to Cooper Hummel. Now, we'll say this. Cam Smith was running on that grass edge all the way down to first base. It's not like he cut over at the last moment. He ran straight down that grass line. So I'm not sure if that's truly illegal or not. Can't claim to know that. That's a swing and a miss by Hummel. Out number 3, and that's going to do it. So the Astros lose a run thanks to the umpires calling that. But we have a 3-run lead. Or is it a 6-2 lead? Oh, it is a 6-2. Okay, we lost the 7th run. That's what we lost. So instead of 7-2, it's 6-2. Okay, I thought we were going to lose the 6th run, but it was the 7th run we lost. I'm sorry about that. We were scoring so much. I lost track. The Astros put 3 more runs on the board. 10 hits for the Stros now. Everybody did such a great job there. We had people doing the right things at the right time. They were bunting at the right time. They were jumping on the pitches. They were being really aggressive. They were stealing. They were doing all sorts of things. The base running was there. Everything, all of the fundamentals were there. And we scored 3 runs because of it. Even with the umpires interfering a little bit, we still wound up with 3 runs. And we've got a 4-run lead, 6-2. All right. Well, Fred, they say that he was running out of the baseline. Now, whether or not that's an accurate call or a fair call or not, I don't know. But because of that, it creates interference with that throw at first base in their mind. And because of that, Altuve has to go back. But what I don't understand is, why did they make Altuve go all the way back to second base? Because he scored from second. I think that he should have been sent to third. That's my opinion. At the very least, if they're going to call Cam out on that interference, they should have given Altuve third base, because he definitely would have made it to third base on that play. For sure. But they didn't. They made him go all the way back to second base, and that's what we call a steaming pile. You know what I'm saying? Magnum PI is in the game. Brian King. Brian King will be facing Dalen Lyle to start this off. Here's the pitch. A little too far inside. Diaz loses it while trying to frame it. Chas McCormick is now in center field. There's the next pitch from King, right in there. 90-mile-per-hour fastball, 1-1. Yeah, old dog is our good luck charm. Old dog comes back, everybody starts hitting. Good timing. 2 balls and 1 strike. That one was a little outside. After that excitement, I can get some more hot water. That's hit right up the middle for a single, a leadoff single for the Nationals with Dalen Lyle poking it up the center of the field. New ball goes out to Brian King, and now he's going to be facing Riley Adams. 2 groundouts today for Adams. Here's the pitch. 79 miles an hour on the Swiffer. Strike 1. Good toss. I do agree, Fred, though. It was a tough call. I'm not sure. I'm kind of in the middle on that. I'm not sure what the rule is. He hits this one out to right field. A soft fly ball. Cam Smith is underneath it. Puts it away, no problem. Adams goes down, 1 away. Wow, I just saw that. Yeah, Jordan, your blood pressure is way too high. Jacob Young at the plate takes the first pitch for strike 1. 0-1 is the count with a runner on first base and 1 out. Here comes the toss. A little too far inside. King misses. The count is 1-1. Here comes the next pitch. 91 in the top of the zone. Fouled off. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Get 'em Stros indeed. Yeah, the Astros. Now think about that. Look at the innings right now. The Astros have scored 3 innings in a row. The 4th, the 5th, and the 6th. 1-1-3. Loving that. Loving that production. Here's the pitch. 93 fouled off again. The count stays 1-2. Oh, what in the world? Something got on my nose. I don't know what it is. The comic chef. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Nope. He goes over to first base, and the runner goes back. No problem. Who do I think we should be getting? Who? Or what? What do I think? I think that's a pretty easy question. I mean, a strong left-handed batter with a good average in OPS. A solid performance this year. And or a nice starting pitcher. One of those or both of those. Fouled off again. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I think everybody knows we need another starting pitcher. I know that we've got pitchers coming back, but having a guy who's either an ace or like an ace would be great. But the main thing I think we need right now really is we need a really good hitter, especially a lefty. Here is the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on the inside. Tommy Likey. Tommy wants swingy. Well, you know what? Kingy gives you swingy. Kingy gives you swingy, Tommy. 2 outs, runner on first. Next batter is C.J. Abrams. First pitch is on the way, grounded up the middle, almost caught by short, off his glove. Abrams is doing really well today. He's finding every way to get on base with singles and doubles and walks. Now with runners on the corners and 2 outs, you can be guaranteed he's going to be stealing. Diaz and King are going to have a little meeting on the mound. Thanks, Robert. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming back. It's good to see you. King on the mound facing James Wood with runners on the corners and 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. 80-mile-per-hour Swiffer on the outside. Good choice. Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree, Brendan. There have been so many times where Pena could have driven in an RBI and turned some of these games around. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. That's hit hard to center field. Is it going to get down? Yes, it is, and that'll score 1 run. 6-3. Runners are now on the corners again. Abrams all the way around to third. James Wood. Yeah, that was a sweeper, a Swiffer, but it just didn't move. He was able to get it right across the plate. So unfortunately, we give up 1 run, but as long as we can get the out right here, we're good to go. But Josh Miller's on his way out to the mound to have a little powwow with the infielders and Brian King. Luis Garcia Jr. is due up at the plate. He's got 2 hits today. 2 RBIs. Brian Abreu now warming up for the Astros, as expected. Yeah, I understand that. Self-medicating, no money. Yeah, I have to really be focused on what I spend my money on. King throws it over to first base. Resets the pitch clock. You've never subscribed to any other YouTube channels? That's amazing. Here's the first pitch. High, check swing. Ball 1. Luis Garcia Jr. at the plate facing Brian King, our resident Magnum PI. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss, up and in. 91-mile-per-hour fastball, and that evens the count, 1-1. No, not bases loaded. We got guys on the corners. Here's the pitch. This is hit high in the air. Shallow center field. Chas McCormick calls off short, and he takes it for out number 3. No problem. So 1 run given up by King, but he holds fast with runners on the corners and puts the last batter away to get out of the inning. 8 hits for the Nationals in this game and only 2 runs. That looks like the Astros. But normally, well, recently they haven't been getting as many as 8 hits, but if they do get 8 hits, normally it's like 2 runs, right? But today, 10 hits and 6 runs. That's nice. Should be 7. Should be 7. But it's okay. We go into the bottom of the 7th. Astros up to bat again in just a moment. And we're going to try to get some more runs, guys. We still have at least 2 more innings to get runs. Hopefully we don't even need to consider the 9th inning. I don't want to have anything to do with having to bat in the bottom of the 9th. Let's just go all out. Let's go gangbusters in the 7th and the 8th. Tack on some more runs and make this a double-digit lead. Let's come back and crush the Nats. Let's swat them dead. Yeah, DeLion, we had the Gordon old-timey jam going on. King had the old-timey jam, but he got out of it. He snapped his way out of it. So it was a jam, but then he snapped his way out of it. That's good, Jordan. But I do wonder, though, are you able to get some sun? And by the way, one of the things that I learned is if we lie out in the sun, we need the majority of our body uncovered. So for guys, it means wearing like just shorts and lying out in the sun. For women, it means wearing like a bikini and lying out in the sun. That's how much exposure we need. They said at least 10 minutes a day. It's so much more effective than supplements. All right, Yiner Diaz on the very first pitch lines it into left field. Diaz is on freaking fire today. Yiner Diaz, man. This is the kind of Yiner I like to see. Yiner with another liner. 86 mile per hour slider in the top of the zone there, and he just reaches out and plunks it. No problem. Mauricio Dubon at the plate. Go after that first pitch again. Yeah, right up the middle. It keeps working for the Astros. Just go after that first pitch. Last inning and this inning, the Astros have gone after the first pitch and had a lot of success. They've got about 5 or 6 hits on that first pitch in just the past 2 innings. How about that? Look at that, right up the middle. Back-to-back line drive singles, and we have runners on first and second. Shea Whitcomb at the plate. He shows bunt and takes the strike. What are you doing? If you're going to really bunt it, then why take a strike? I don't understand. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Lara. Outside. Now he's swinging, okay? Strange strategy. Coach's decision, I guess. Strange. 1-1 is the count. Here's the pitch. This is hit hard to right field, pretty deep, all the way out to the crowd. Man, that was not too far off from being an opposite field home run. Mark, the Nationals came close. They came close, but did not score. So, you were just tripping. Runners on first and second. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Whitcomb. Here comes the toss. Right in the zone and line drive to second base. What in the world happened there? That was weird. Okay, so... Okay, let me... This is a little strange. I thought that was a line drive catch, but actually it was a one-hopper that was caught by the second baseman. Yiner went back and put his foot on the bag. The ball hit the ground right here. Second baseman runs over to second base. Yiner goes back and puts his foot on the bag. Dubon goes to second base, but because you can see it right here. He tags Yiner, but it doesn't make any sense because he's safe. I think he could have tagged Yiner first and then stepped on the bag, so he did it backwards. So Dubon is out, but we still have runners on first and second because the second baseman didn't understand what was going on there. And now the coach is arguing with the umpires. No, they're calling Yiner out now. But the Astros are going to challenge this for sure. Because as soon as you step on the bag and the runner is out, the bag becomes open. This is the umpire mistake. This is an umpire mistake. Big umpire mistake. Yeah, it did look like Keystone Cops. And right now the Astros are the only ones that know what happened, that what happened is wrong. So what happened is he scooped it up, he runs over, and instead of tagging Yiner first, he steps on the bag first. Okay, so they're saying that the call on the field was that the second baseman tagged the runner and then stepped on the base when that was clearly not the case. He stepped on the base first and then tagged Yiner. He did it in the wrong order. As soon as you step on the base, then that base becomes free. And Yiner was on the base when he tagged him after he had already stepped on the base. So Yiner is going to be called safe. They're challenging the call, obviously. So we'll still have runners on first and second with one out. That second out will not come through. Yep. It's funny. Devon's like saying, no, 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 no. The C.J. Abrams was saying you're both out. And they were saying, no, no, we're not. No, we're not. Here's the call. It's overturned, obviously. Safe. Yiner Diaz is safe. Told you. Yep, see? There you go. Good job, Espada. Thank you for knowing the rules. Keystone Cop umpires. Keystone Cop. Look at the... They're still... The coaches over there for Washington, they're still befuddled. How can he be out? How can he be out? You don't understand the rules, you fool. How can you play baseball for so long and you don't know that? You got to touch the runner first and then step on the base. And now that he's got the explanation, he wants to change pitchers. Of course. Let's hold up the game a little bit more. This game is so ridiculous. I'm enjoying it, though. I'm loving it. 12 hits for the Astros. 6 runs. That's it for Lara. He comes out of the game. We've got runners on first and second with one out. Zach Short at the plate. What do we got going in the live chat now that we have a break? Let's see. Crispy, you're right. This is the teamwork that we needed. That's absolutely right. Yeah, I want to hit like this again tomorrow, Brendan. You're right. I agree. We get plenty of vitamin D over here in Houston. Robert, no, you don't. Trust me, you don't. There's plenty of vitamin D available, but getting the vitamin D is a different matter. And being able to access and actually use the vitamin D in your body is also a different matter. These things are all different. And if you actually look at the studies, more than 70% of all Americans have a deficiency, a vitamin D deficiency. And here's the interesting thing. This is what I wanted to tell you guys earlier. If you go to the hospital and you have them check your blood and your vitamin D, chances are 2 things will happen. Number 1, they'll look at it and they'll say, oh, your vitamin D levels are good. You're okay. You're above the recommended level. But the other thing is, they will tell you what the recommended level is. But the recommended level is too low. The recommended level is way down here. But if you want to be healthy, then your level needs to be way up here. And I'm not joking. The recommended level is based on old, bad information. Now, what I was saying earlier is, if you look at people like lifeguards who are out on the beach all day, almost every day, wearing just shorts, and they're getting a lot of sun, their vitamin D levels are around 200, 190 to 200. If your vitamin D levels are at 20, your doctor could say they're fine. But if you're under 30, it's very bad. You need to get it up. Very important. Now back to the game. The new pitcher's on the mound and he says, I can't hear. It's Rutledge. Jackson Rutledge. Jackson Rutledge. He's still having trouble with his pitch comm. Umpire says, listen, you can't just keep delaying the game. Your coach already did that a couple of times, and now you're doing it. And, we just can't keep taking this nonsense. Okay, I'll pitch the ball. Rutledge is on the rubber. Runners on first and second with one out, facing Zach Short. Short puts it down the third baseline. That could be a base hit. It is. There's no throw. Perfect bunt by Zach Short. Zach Short. Way to go, buddy. Bunt that ball. Look at that. He comes around and perfect. Look at that. Perfect pitch right down the middle. Perfectly placed bunt. I don't know why the third baseman was playing so far back, but now we have bases loaded for Taylor Trammell. I want to see that upper deck shot fair this time. That's high and outside, ball one. For those of you who don't know, his last at bat, Taylor Trammell hit one in the upper deck. Just foul out in right field. A Tram grand slam would be nice. Ground ball left side, should score a run, and it does. He's out at first base, barely. But Diaz scores, so he does pick up an RBI. No grand slam for the Tram. But the Astros get back that run they lost earlier. It's 7-3. Good job, Tram. Opposite field hit there. Opposite field fielder's choice, rather. And that brings up Altuve. Altuve with another opportunity. His last at bat with bases loaded, the very first pitch, he went right up the middle. Now he's batting with 2 outs, runners on second and third. 7-3 here in the bottom of the 7th. Here's the pitch. 87 mile per hour slider. He goes after it and misses. Strike one. Yeah, you're right. Judy says, what? We're winning? Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Doesn't it feel strange? Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Altuve. Ooh, almost hit him. Right on the inside there. Abreu and Okert warming up in the bullpen right now. As our lead increases, so does the amount of pitchers warming up in the bullpen. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Altuve. He goes up the middle. Is it going to drop? No, it's going to be caught by the second baseman. Just a little too soft. Couldn't get it out of the infield. But you know what? 13 hits for the Stros. 7 runs. We have scored 4 innings in a row, guys. The 4th, the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th. 1-1, 3-1. Scored 1 in the first. And after that, only 2 innings we haven't managed to get a run on the board. 7-3. I have to say that I'm pretty content with that. Now let's see if I can get caught up with the live chat here. As we continue the health and vitamin D3 chat while the game is going on. That's hilarious. It's hilarious. I love it. Yeah, the refs have made some questionable calls. The umpires are like, oh, he was running in the baseline. Oh, he's out. They're both out at second base. They don't quite know exactly what they're calling anymore. Getting seriously burned by the sun in the Houston, probably worse. Well, that's the thing, Jordan. You don't start off by going out and lying in the sun for 10 or 15 minutes. You have to go out just for a few minutes and expose yourself for a few minutes each day. And then as you spend more time in the sun, you can actually lie out there more and more. But I don't need to tell you that. You can look that up. Even guys like me, I'm very, very white. And I've never really liked the sun too much because it burns me so easily. But if you expose yourself to it a few minutes at a time each day, then you can start spending more and more time out in the sun. That's true. They're not just blind, they're incompetent. That's right, DeLion. And it was a good challenge. It was a no-brainer challenge. And the funny thing is, even after they overturned it, which they should have, even then, they showed the coaches in the Nationals dugout, and they were like, how can that be overturned? Do the Nationals not know the rules? Do their coaches really not know the rules? Are they really that dense? How can you be a manager of a professional baseball team and not understand that rule? First pitch to Josh Bell is fouled off. Brian Abreu is now in the game for the Stros. Oh, and 1 is the count. Here comes the next pitch. Way high, 97 miles an hour. 1 ball, 1 strike to Bell. Abreu trying to ring his bell. 1-1 pitch on the way. Ooh, a little far inside on that 97-mile-per-hour pitch. 2-1. Jordan, your blood pressure should be going down with this game, I think. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Low and inside. 3-1. Come on, don't lose this guy. He hasn't done anything today. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. Don't walk him again. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Burn it right in there. Swing and a miss on the slider. I'm kind of surprised that Abreu didn't go with the fastball right down the middle, but I guess he thought he might be getting that. Probably going to be getting the high fastball now. It's 3-2. Here's the toss. No, it's in the dirt. Another slider. That's a walk. First batter goes to first on that ball in the dirt. Josh Bell is on with Nathaniel Lowe at the plate. No outs. Mark, that's hilarious. First, last, and everything. I don't want to be like that for anybody. Even if a girl tells me that, you're my everything, I wouldn't be able to live without you. That scares me. I don't want to be with somebody like that. Here's the pitch. 98 miles an hour, foul tip, swing and a miss, strike one. If a woman tells me I can't live without you, you know, I don't know what I'd do without you, I'd go crazy without you, I don't want to hear that. 97 miles an hour, another foul tip, swing and a miss, 0-2. Have a beer and chill. I'm not necessarily so sure that I'd recommend a beer. Maybe a sip of red wine. Opposite field. Look at that. He had him on 2 pitches, 0-2, and he gets an opposite field hit right through the middle between the second base bag and the shortstop. We got 2 runners on with no outs. Abreu looking less sharp than Brian King right now. Yeah, 2 bunts today for short. He's really come through. Yeah, with the short hit, Travis, that's right. Here's the next pitch. That's in there for strike one. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 88-mile-per-hour slider right at the bottom of the zone. 0-2. Don't give up another hit. Don't give up another hit right here on the 0-2. Let's get a strikeout. Guys, I cannot wait to cook some lunch today. Here's the pitch. Just a tad outside on that slider. 1-2. Here comes a 1-2 pitch from Abreu. 98. Hit into right field. Cam Smith floats under. Puts it away. Bell just standing on second base. He doesn't even try to make him throw the ball. Can you see why I called Josh Bell the slow turtle? He was just standing on second base with his hands on his hips. He's still standing there with his hands on his hips. Oh my gosh, he's hilarious. You got to make him think that you're going to tag. Make him make the throw. You never know what's going to happen. What's with these guys? Here comes the first pitch to the next batter, Brady House. That's in there for strike one. Yeah, old dog, that's right. Fromber's sitting over there probably throwing things in the dugout. Where was all this crap yesterday? Here comes the 0-1 pitch. House takes that outside. 99 miles an hour. Just a few inches off the plate. 1-1. Being positive is good for your health. Yes. And believe it. Here's the 1-1. Right in the bottom of the zone. Oh, man. Could have been a strike right there. Called a ball. Beautiful slider in the bottom of the zone. 2-1, unfortunately. Here comes the next pitch. This is Lyle at the plate, by the way. 3 balls and 1 strike to Dalen Lyle. 2 runners on with 1 out. We don't need bases loaded. Yiner Diaz is going to come out and have a little chit-chat with Abreu. 3 balls and 1 strike is the count to Lyle. Doobie is over to speak with Abreu and Diaz. Little meeting on the mound right there. Old dog says, last time I exposed myself, I got arrested. Or you using the old classic trench coat? Did you flash somebody? Royals and Braves. 9-6. Don't really care about that game, though. Don't see a relevance there. Here's the 3-1 pitch. 88 right in the zone. Fouls it back for strike 2. We got ourselves a full count. Dalen Lyle with the 3-2 facing Brian Abreu. Runners on first and second. A double play ball would be awesome, but a strikeout would be also welcome. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. This is hit up the middle, and it's right into the gap. Bell is waved around. He'll easily score. It's going to be a double. 7-4. 2 runners now in scoring position. Second and third with 1 out. Right out over the plate. Not a good option for a 3-2 count to put it in there where he can hit it. I guess Abreu thought he would take it. He thought wrong. Riley Adams at the plate takes that first pitch for a strike. 89-mile-per-hour slider. It's another example where our relievers have given up just as many runs as our starter. Once again, our relievers are showing us how they're the weak link in the pitching right now. And that's not an easy task to do. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. 98 miles an hour, swing and a miss up in the zone. That's where that last pitch should have been that was hit into right center field. No balls, 2 strikes. Adams calls a timeout for a moment. 30 minutes is too long, Jordan. You'll get sunburned. Don't put on any sun lotion either. Outside. Ball 1, 1-2. And I don't mean lay down in the sun for 30 minutes and don't put on suntan lotion. That's not what I mean. If you want to protect your face, you can put some on your face. But your body needs to get the sun, so you can't use suntan lotion. Here's the pitch. Outside check swing. Did he go? They say he did, and that's strike 3. Abreu picks up a K. Tommy likey. Tommy wants swingy. Oh, there's one for you right there, Tommy. Check swingy. Out number 2. Brian Abreu, number 1 on the strikeout leaderboard at the moment. It's kind of funny considering how he might not have as many innings pitched. I don't know. Does he have as many innings pitched as Hader? I'm going to have to take a look at that. He might have more strikeouts than Hader does. Foul ball by Jacob Young. The count is 0-1. 2 outs, runners on second and third. Here's the next pitch. Woo, on that outside edge, 98 miles an hour, strike 2. Good toss. Now, yeah, some people can stay out in the sun longer without getting burned. And that's why, like for me, I have to spend a shorter amount of time over a period of many, many days in order to build up to where I can do many minutes without getting burned. Here is the 0-2 pitch. Long delay by Abreu. Here it comes. Low and outside, ball 1. 1-2. Yeah, old dog is right. You don't need any more than about 15 to 20 minutes. 20 minutes is max. They say anywhere from 10 to 20 is enough for vitamin D3, but it also depends on your tolerance. 99 miles an hour fouled off, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Like I said, if I were to pull up my shirt, it would blind you. I mean, most of my body is like really white, and I've never tanned really well. So that's why I've kind of stayed out of the sun. But now I realize I need it. I need it for the D3. Here's the pitch. 98 miles an hour, strike 3. Swing and a foul tip miss by Jacob Young. Abreu gets that last out. He gets out of the jam. He does give up 1 run, so I guess you could say that Brian King bends, doesn't break. Abreu bends, doesn't break. They give up 1 run each. Astros are holding on to a 2-run lead right now, 6-4. They don't need to let the Nationals crawl back into this game. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Jackson Rutledge might be still on the mound for the Nationals. Christian Walker comes to the plate in a moment, followed by Cam Smith and Chas McCormick. You know, they say that the thing about D3 that's very interesting is that your body stores it in the bloodstream. And so you have D3. So it's possible that typically when you get a check of D3 from a blood test, and they say, oh, you've got a lot of vitamin D3. You got plenty. But that's not active D3. D3 that's active in your body versus inactive, these are 2 different things. So you need something to activate it. And the K vitamin is what activates it. You don't need a lot of it. You just need a little bit of it to activate it. But also to get it moving from your cells, from your fat cells, you need magnesium to help make that happen. And I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but people who are thinner and leaner, it's much, much easier for them to get D3 from the sun than overweight people. The more fat you have on your body, the harder it is for you to get vitamin D3 into your body, activated and into your system. That's true. Christian Walker at the plate. First pitch in the top of the zone for strike 1. 0-1 is the count. Nice, old dog. Yeah, Abreu's number 1, Hader's number 4 right now in the MLB. This is tapped towards third. The pitcher throws it to first base. They call him out. That was close. Rutledge makes a good play to first base. Are they going to challenge it? Or was it not close enough? That was a tough play. Man, that was close. Nope, he was out and he got him. 1 away. Cam Smith comes to the plate. Strike right in the bottom of the zone. The slider finds the strike zone. I was thinking it should be 7-4. Here's the pitch. Whoa! Again, they almost take Cam's head off. Crowd is booing. Look at this. That's the second one that has been thrown at Cam Smith's head. Now, the last time he did this, on the very next pitch, he went opposite field for a double. Here's the next pitch. Up and in, they call strike 2. Man, that was a little too far up and in for a strike, but whatever. 1-2 is the count to Smith, and here comes the pitch. Low and outside, ball 2. 2-2 is the count. I think maybe what happened was Jay. Maybe they took a run away that they didn't take away earlier. Oh, now it is 7-4. Now it has changed. What in the world is going on? What's with the scoreboard? Did you see that? Strike 3. Cam goes down on strikes. Out number 2. The scoreboard has changed again, Jay. I thought maybe we missed it. I thought it was 7. And then I thought maybe we missed it because of the run that they called back earlier when Altuve scored and Cam Smith ran in the grass. But then I was like, I don't know. Now I'm confused. But that's right. They put it back on the board. It's right now. You're right. 7-4. Kind of confused about that. Chaz McCormick is at the plate, swinging a miss on the first pitch. 0-1 is the count. Jackson Rutledge on the mound. Here comes the pitch. Bounced foul down the third baseline. 0-2 is the count. Gotta love it when the scoreboard is not working correctly. Here comes the next pitch. Broken bat to the pitcher. Easy play to first base for out number 3. That's it for the 8th inning. 3 up and 3 down for Rutledge. And we go to the top of the 9th. The Astros up 7-4. At 7-4, my guess is that they will bring in Hader. I don't imagine they will bring in Okert. They better not. With a 3-run lead, they absolutely better bring in Hader. So that's what I'm going to put on the board is Josh Hader. Commercial break. We'll be back in just a minute with the top of the 9th. Yeah, Crispy, don't you know that you can throw at the Astros? It's no problem. You can hit them. You can throw at them. It's all good. It's okay. Especially in Daikin Park, anything goes. Yeah, thanks for the plug for the likes. 93 people listening in right now on the live stream and 60 likes. If you have not liked the live stream already, please do so now, and I'd appreciate that. If you're an Astros fan and you haven't subscribed, please do so now. I would appreciate that. Got less than 200 to go before I get to 1,000. Sure would be nice to have a nice following as we go towards the playoffs. Check swing. Hader is in the game indeed, facing C.J. Abrams, who's had a great game. 3 for 3 with a double, a run, 3 stolen bases. But now he's facing Josh Hader. Let's see what he can do. It's 0-1. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. 94 miles an hour. 0-2. Oh my gosh, Travis. Man, I was always worried about going into the swamps in Louisiana. I'm driving over those bridges. Like Atchafalaya, that basin down there with that long bridge. That, my friends, is a strikeout. 3-pitch strikeout to C.J. Abrams. His fantastic night is over. 1 away. James Wood comes to the plate, unless they've got a pinch hitter. He's got 1 hit and 1 RBI today. First pitch is on the way, a little outside, ball 1. When I was at Costco, I picked up some ground meat, a bunch of eggs, some nice big thick strip bacon. Here's the pitch. Outside and low, ball 2. Also picked up some of that grass-fed butter. Oh yeah, here comes the 2-0 pitch. Inside, fouled off for strike 1. 2-1 is the count. Yeah, they should be, Robert. I agree. Why are we playing Chaz late? Jay asks. Defense, I would guess. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Nice slider by Hader. Hey, Spot has got a smile on his face before the game is over. What seems like a smile. Or a smirk, one of those. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, another swing and a miss on the 2-2 count. Tommy want the swingy. Can Hader deliver? Yes, he can. You get another strikeout, Tommy. Next batter is Luis Garcia Jr. Wow, 95 right in the middle of the plate on that sinker. Luis Garcia, 2 for 4 today. 2 outs, nobody on, guys. We are 1 out away from winning this game. In the dirt. That was a little wild. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 more out. 2 more strikes. Brendan asking who pitches tomorrow. I'm not sure if it's announced, but I'll take a quick look at it. Right in there for strike 2. 1 strike away. 1 strike away. Nobody listed as far as I know. It says undecided at the moment. Everybody's standing on their feet looking for that strikeout right here. Can he deliver the Haterade? Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Just a little high and outside for ball 2. 2-2. Hey, the A's beating up on Seattle. I like that, old dog. Thanks for that update. For anyone who doesn't know, I'll be doing some updates after the game. Look at that, strike 3 on the outside edge. The slider, a little Haterade served up, another strikeout for Josh Hader. And the Astros have won this game 7-4 with 13 hits. So the Astros come alive, and just when they need it too, because they gave up 4 runs in this game. But they managed 7. Excellent, excellent performance by the Astros today. They bend a little bit on the mound and give up a little more than I'd like, but it's okay because they wind up putting out enough runs to put the Nats where they belong, and that is in the bug zapper. The Nats get swatted 7-4. The Astros take game 2. So we have game 3 tomorrow. For me, that game starts, that game starts really early. 3:10 a.m. If you can see that. Let's see, right up here at the top of the screen. 3:10 a.m. for me. That game starts. So I got to get up at about 2:15 at the latest to get prepared for this game. And let's take a quick look. Tomorrow's game preview. As you see here right now, it's undecided for the Astros. Mackenzie Gore is going to be on the mound for the Nationals. His stats look decent. For some reason, he's 4-10. I guess that's just because the Nationals weren't able to score runs. His ERA is 3.52. It's not bad. His hits are less than his innings pitched. He's got a ton of strikeouts. This is the big thing here. Take a look at this. 117 innings pitched, 144 strikeouts. Now, he does have too many walks. He's got 44 walks. So, you could say this guy is kind of like Lance McCullers when he's really good. Because he's got a lot of walks, but he's got a lot of strikeouts too. Not many home runs. Hits are kind of down. So I think we're going to have to focus on being patient. If we're going to win tomorrow, we need patient batting. That's what it looks like. But for today, let's do a quick summary of today's game, and then we'll take a look and see what's going on around the league. Seven to 4, of course. 7-4, the final score. Astros win. Sousa actually gets the win today. And he's 5-0. It makes him look really good, doesn't it? He pitched a 1.1 inning. No hits, no earned runs, 2 strikeouts, no walks. Sousa did really well today. Chafin, unfortunately, gets the loss. Hader gets the save, 1 inning pitched. It's his 28th of the season. And he had 3 freaking strikeouts in the 9th inning. How about that? He and Abreu continue to be really solid. Abreu was a little shaky today. He gave up a run, and Brian King gave up a run. But like I said, they bent, and they didn't break. Let's take a quick look at the scoring summary. The Astros scored in the 1st inning when Cam Smith doubled to right field, scoring Walker. And let's see if I can I get this all on the screen? Let me try to get that all on the screen. Will that fit? No, not quite. But I know what I can do. I can change this. There we go. Boom. There we go. How about that? That's better. All right. So Astros are up 1-0 in the 1st inning. In the top of the 3rd, they gave up the lead when Garcia hit a 2-run homer. And then in the bottom of the 4th, Diaz tied it up with his own homer, his own solo homer, 2-2. In the bottom of the 5th, the Astros retook the lead when Hummel singled to center, scoring Walker, 2-3. In the 6th, Altuve singled with bases loaded, scoring Dubon, making the game 4-2. Walker singled after that, scoring Trammell and Whitcomb, making the game 6-2. The Astros did lose a run right there when Cam Smith hit an infield fielder's choice, which turned into an error, and they said he was running in the grass. So that eliminated a run for the Astros as Altuve was sent back to second base. In the top of the 7th, Wood singled to right field, making it 6-3. The Tram grounded out to shortstop, scoring Diaz in the bottom of the 7th, and that gave the Astros a 7th run. It was 7-3. In the top of the 8th, Lyle doubled to center off of Brian Abreu, making it 7-4, but that's where the scoring would end. The Astros wound up winning 7-4. If we take a look at the pitching, we go all the way down. Actually, for the Astros, in the way of hitting, Trammell did get some, even though he was 0-4, he did get an RBI, and he scored a run. So he got on base, he scored a run, and he got a run scored. So he had a good day, despite. Altuve didn't score a run, but he should have. It was taken away from him by the umpires. He got an RBI. Walker was 2-for-4 with 2 runs scored, 2 RBIs. Cam Smith 1-for-4 with an RBI. Melton was 0-for-2. Hummel came in, it was 1-for-2 with an RBI. Chas McCormick was just 0-for-1 after he came in. Diaz was 3-for-4. He was hot today with 2 hits, 2 runs scored, an RBI, and a home run. Dubon was 3-for-3, also hot today with a hit. Didn't have any RBIs, but he had a run scored. Whitcomb, 1-for-4 today, and he had just 1 hit. 1 run scored, rather. Zach Short got himself a couple of bunts today to move guys over, and one of those he turned into an infield hit. So all of the Astros were really contributing today in the lineup. If you look at that all the way down through the lineup, what a complete difference from yesterday and the days before, right? That's crazy. On the pitching end, let's take a look at this. Jason Alexander went 4.2 innings, had 80 pitches, 48 of those for strikes. 5 hits and 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. This performance wasn't amazing, but it was good enough for me. He almost went 5 innings and only gave up 2 runs. I'm okay with that. Sousa came in and had 1.1 innings of excellent ball. 2 strikeouts, no walks, no hits, no earned runs. Perfect 1.1 innings worked. Brian King had 1 inning of work, gave up 3 hits. This inning was not good for Brian King. He gave up 3 hits, got 1 strikeout, and gave up 1 run. However, he did get lucky. He bent as much as you can bend without breaking. It didn't blow up. He held them to 1 run. Abreu basically did the same thing. 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. He and Brian King very similar, giving up those runs, but Hader came in and locked it down, got 3 freaking strikeouts, and destroyed it. So where Abreu and King were a little off, Hader was all over it and ready to go, and the Astros win this game. Their 61st win of the season, 7-4. 7-4. We've already looked at tomorrow's games, so now we're going to look at the scoreboard. Let's see what's going on around the league. Currently, the Angels are beating the Rangers in the top of the 5th, 3-2. That's good news. Mets and Padres, nope. Pirates and Giants, nope. All right, look at this. The Athletics are beating the Mariners 4-1 in the 4th inning. So right now, the Mariners and the Rangers are both behind. If these scores hold, then the Astros will gain a game on both of them. How great would that be? And check it out. The Blue Jays also lost. They got destroyed. Holy freaking cow, guys. Look at this. The Orioles went to town on the Blue Jays. Can you believe that? They went to town 16-4. That's nuts. Wow. And they had a double. Look at this. They had a doubleheader today. Game number 1, 16-4. Game number 2, the Orioles won 3-2. The Blue Jays lost 2 games to the Orioles. That's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I love it. The Tigers destroyed the Diamondbacks 12-2. That's unfortunate, but no big deal. They're just a couple of games ahead of the Astros. But man, today with those wins by the Orioles really helping us out with those wins over the Blue Jays today. The Stankies, the draft Dodgers. Let's see here. The Curbs. Hey, the Brewers beat the Curbs. Good for you. And, of course, the Astros whipped the Nationals. I mean, I'm still not happy that they gave up 4 runs, but I'm very happy that the Bats showed up today. We worked together as a team, and that's the way it should be. That's great stuff right there. I love it. I love it. Good job, my Astros. I'm proud of you today. I'm so proud of you. I'm glad that I wore my Altuve jersey. Maybe it was luck for today. It was the right day to wear it. Right now, all I'm going to do is go cook myself a really nice big lunch and then go spend a little time lying out in the sun, soak up some of that D3, right? One last check into the live chat, and then I'll be out of here. I appreciate everyone being here today. Thank you for listening in. Thank you for being a Go Stros channel supporter. And I appreciate you liking the live stream. I appreciate you subscribing to the channel, recommending it to your family and friends, anyone who likes the Astros, and any donations. So I have memberships that are very, very cheap, just a couple of dollars a month for my cheapest membership, and then you can use the custom emojis in the live chat. Also, I accept direct donations and super chats, so you can see all the links in the or below the video. Very thankful for all of you who've donated to me, and for those of you who are planning to donate. Thank you so much. Let's see here. Yeah, and thank you for your help, old dog. You came back, and the Astros came back too. Hater saw the comment, that's for sure. Yeah, all wins are welcome, that's right. The only thing that really matters in baseball is to win the game. As long as you win, everything that got you to that win doesn't matter as long as you get the win. I'll see you guys for tomorrow's game. Tomorrow's game for me is it starts about 3:10 a.m. So I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna try to get to bed a little early tonight, and see what I can get ready for tomorrow. Like I said, I've got a special video dropping. I'm hoping to finish it today and upload it. It's about a lot of the toxic fan culture that I've seen recently, and I believe that you guys are today, even though ultimately we won, but from the beginning I feel like the mood that we had today in the live chat was so positive and strong, and I just want to say thank you for that. Thank you for being so awesome. Several of you are going through some awesome stuff. I say awesome, I mean like difficult stuff, but you're getting through it, and I just want to say I wish you the best. I understand I've got my own health issues to overcome, and my own emotional issues to overcome. Everybody's got, to some extent, challenges in their lives, and when you come here and you're still able to be positive, good on you. It says a lot about you whenever you're able to have such difficulty in your life, or the appearance of difficulty, and just reject that and choose to have a different angle on it. But thank you so much for everything. Yeah. Good night to you too, Travis. God bless you as well. Yes, Christian Walker did play well. Drambaum, thank you. Peace to you. If Astros go to the ALCS, I'm donating. Oh, thank you, Casey. I appreciate it. I will definitely be here for that. And thank you for being here for the play-by-play. I appreciate you being here. That's all for now. The only thing left to say is go Stros. And I will see you guys and gals for Game 3. Until then,